And we are live. Welcome, brothers, to another show. We are here today in the beautiful city of Medellin, Colombia. I see we got bros already in the room. Glad you joined me. Shout out to Tim X1, first one in the room. He says, it will rob them of freedom to travel. That's most definitely. Shout out to James Best with the $19.99 super chat sticker. I appreciate that, my brother. Shout out to What's Up, Eric. What's good, brother? What's going on with you? How's everything with you? Shout out to the Mountain Lord. We in here. We in the building today. Shout out to my brother Delano Music. What's good, my brother? We got a big topic today, man. We got a big topic to talk about. We're going in here. It's gonna be an open panel. I'm gonna flow for about maybe 20, 30 minutes. And I'm gonna bring some guys on to explain, if they're pro being a stepfather, or if they rather not be a stepfather and maybe, expand their options elsewhere. So I'm sure we're going to have some guys that want to, have their own opinion on this, and I want to bring it, to an open panel, man. It's going to be real good. But first and foremost, guys, if you haven't joined the new Facebook group, the replacement Facebook group for the Blackmentravels 2.0, the original group was taken down. Let me go ahead and show you guys. Let me scroll this real quick for you guys. Give me a second. Hold on, where you at? Blackmentravels 2.0 Facebook group in the building, man. So we didn't kick anybody out of the group. A lot of guys emailed me asking me, did we kick him out of the group? No, we did not kick anybody out of the group. We were taken down for a scrupulous reason that don't even matter at the end of the day. So, guys, I'm going to go ahead and show this pre-roll video of a commercial I did for our brothers Kobe out there at Ella Louise Cigars, and then we're going to get the flowing. So go ahead and check out this video, and then we'll be right back. Here we go. Oh, there we go.
Hey, Jay, turn that up real quick.
Ella Louise Cigars, 1927. All right, my business partner with a different business, a communication company we own. He has a passion for cigars. So he came to me one day and said, hey man, what do you think about starting a cigar company? So I was like, I'm all in. The only thing that I wanted to make sure was that we did everything from the ground up. I didn't want to go white label or anything like that. I wanted to make sure that we did the whole process. I wanted our own tobacco. I wanted to source everything from the farm to your mouth. I didn't want to take any shortcuts. So that's the way we got started.
Cigar smoking, the cigar atmosphere is a lifestyle. It's something that you gotta not only get into, but you gotta learn. And so we started from the bottom. We learned about it. We're steady growing, but we got so much more information that we can pass on, and so much more business aspect of it that we can give to our future customers. So
we have one of the best cigars on the market. It's because of the process we took to get there. We went to different factories, different farms, just trying to find quality, building relationships. Right now, I feel like we have the right relationships to create the right product. We have our own factory, our own rollers, our own tobacco.
In this factory, the family love working every day the cigar. All the people that we have here love your job and put your love in every cigar that we do here. For this reason, we are a factory that has best quality cigar because all material that you use is planting, growing in the air of the most fine tobacco in the world. The premium cigar is a cigar that have large filler, have a Cuban binder, and have a Dominican wrapper. All the people that work here have big experience. In this moment, this roller is putting the leaf in your hands. The leaf that we use is different countries. Different countries give you different flavors. He use a binder for put the filler. can see that he closed, and the cigar is ready to do pressure.
We have an aging process, so any cigar that you take of ours has been aged for at least 7 years, 7 to 10 years. We're getting this aged tobacco. Everything we do, we try to do it. We try to be perfectionists. Even though we feel like we have a great product right now, we're always out here trying to get better. We're always trying to do more.
The flavor process is a very long and complicated process because each tobacco is unique. So you need to know actually how to get them together, mix them to provide the flavor that you're actually looking for. And that is the reason why it's very hard to keep a flavor. So you have to make sure that of the quantity of the tobacco that you're putting together and how you mix them just to provide the flavor that you're looking for.
Another thing that we do is we create labels for other companies. So if you guys are out there and you have a label and you know it's a white label, you know you took a shortcut, come to us so we can get your complete cigar. You get what I'm saying? You get your own brand, your own tobacco, your own flavor profile. You know what I'm saying? Not somebody else's that you're just slapping a label on.
Come learn about cigars. We've been partnering with some good other people, good other brothers, and we just want to take off with it.
It's kind of been trial and error, but right now we feel like we have a very good quality product, top of the line product. It took us probably about 2 years to get here, but right now we feel like we have some of the best cigars on the market. You know, and if you give us a chance, you'll find out.
What's good, fellas? We in the building. Had to get my camera situation straight, but we good now. The commercial you just saw, if some of you might already know, was a commercial I shot for the guys at Ella Louise Cigars, a black-owned company based out of Houston. If you guys want some good premium quality cigars, man, and you want to support your own, make sure you follow the link in the chat. I just dropped the link in the chat, man. Support these buddies. Some good brothers. Just had lunch with them today. They really support the movement. So, guys, you know, instead of buying cigars from somewhere else and people you don't know that don't support your community or anything like that, make sure you check them out, man. Hit the website. Use BMT, all capital letters, for a 10% discount code for some good cigars. And these are very good quality cigars. I know we always hear about Cuban cigars and all that good stuff, man, but I'm telling you, the Dominican Republic got some really great leaves out there, and they really do their due diligence in the process of making a good quality cigar. These brothers are very on point, man. So support these brothers, man. You know, next time you get a cigar, go ahead and order for them. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna holler at the chat real quick and we'll get the flowing. Shout out to my brother Body Thug. What's going on, my brother? Shout out to my brother Charles Jones. What's happening with you? Now, this is an open panel show. I'm gonna go ahead and bring some brothers on because I want all opinions. First and foremost, let me preface this show. This is the part 2 of a show about why travel bros and some of our younger brothers do not want to be stepfathers in 2021. Now, let me preface this first. I'm not speaking on the women of yesteryear, yesterpast. You know, I don't want to blanket all women into one category. It's not about just about the sisters or anything like that. It's just that now, currently in 2021, women are definitely a different breed than they were in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s when, you know, they were a little bit more cooperative. There was less feminism, you know, less things going on with social media. There really was no social media besides maybe Black Planet. And even Black Planet was off the chain before, you know, the Tinders and all this other good stuff. So right now, we're dealing with a different type of female. And for someone like influencer to a certain degree, like our brother Boyce Watkins, to try to streamline brothers into taking a major jump in their lives and shaming brothers for not making that major step that he did at the age of maybe 50 plus or whatnot, marrying a single mother. I saw some of the pictures of the wedding. The kids is 10 times bigger than him. And he's a good brother, very educated in his field of play. You know, I would consider him to be a subject expert in finance. He has all types of accolades, you know, no problem there. But sometimes, brothers, you know, you're not going to be a subject expert at everything. And sometimes, man, when it comes to women, you know, some brothers don't have a high degree of understanding female nature at the end of the day, right? And women don't really respect certain guys when they feel like they can just get away with so much stuff. When they just check you and just say all these little sly remarks and you don't respond, you just you know, just laugh it off and stuff like that. They definitely don't respect that. And I think Boyce, unfortunately, man, good brother, but I think he's wrong here. And a lot of people are checking him on this, like, bro, why don't you just stay in your lane and do what you do? Why are you trying to influence brothers to make this major decision in their life that nine times out of 10 might not work out in the long run for their best interests, especially now in 2021, where a lot of women feel entitled to your resources. They feel entitled to your time. They have a mating strategy that they've been doing for quite some time now, where they'll have sex, you know, and make relations and have children with these guys who, you know, might not be the best option for them to raise a family. And then they'll do a double back to a guy they might have dated with previously. They didn't give a time of day, similar to Boyce Watkins' situation. You know, when they're in their prime, college, 25, you know, younger, 19 to 25, you know, then they prime, they go out and they have fun, and they get pregnant by whoever, you know, and then they expect you to clean up their mess. So essentially, Boyce Watkins is trying to get young brothers, older brothers, whatever, to be cleanup men. And the problem that a lot of brothers are having now, not a lot of brothers, but some people are having, are the fact that these brothers are traveling the world. These brothers are opening up businesses. These brothers have a high aptitude because of all the information that's online about female nature. We know what's going on. We see the social media now. You know, we see the pics on Instagram. It's a hot girl summer. Cool. Everything's equal now in today's society. Everything's equal now. And, you know, do your thing. You're independent. You got you a good fire job, doing technology. You can travel the world. You're a digital nomad. Whatever you decide to do with your life is cool. But don't try, you know, you make that decision to have a child out of wedlock. Don't try to do a double round with a guy you dated previously, you didn't give a time of day, or who you know you're not really interested in. You only with that guy for resources and for comfortability, and companionship, but companionship in a different type of way. More or less a simpy roommate, really. You know, I was looking at one of his shows one day, and his new wife kind of rushed him off his own show. And, you know, most cats, especially brothers, we're going to be like, who you talking to like that, you know? But with him, it's like, okay, baby, okay, you know. And it's like, brother, first of all, in my opinion, you don't have to put all your, even if you're on social media like myself, you don't have to put all your personal business out there, because the way you have your relationships with women is the way you decide to have your relationships with women, you know. But I'm not going to sit there and try to influence other guys to make the same decisions that I make, because you are your own entity. You are your own company. You are your own little private boat. You're your own little country. At the end of the day, you make your own decisions for your life. All right? And the decisions that you make are not going to affect my decisions that I make over here. So I want to put that out there first and foremost. I'm going to go ahead and drop a link. I'm going to go ahead and drop a link in the chat, brothers. And if you want to come on and give your opinions, and if you pro, you know, whatever, you know, we're not going to be disrespectful. There's no cursing, no calling out anybody's name. If a brother comes on and says, hey, you guys are cowards for leaving the black community, like I was called previously a couple of years ago on a live panel with BGS and a couple other cats, not BGS, but some other cats on the panel. You know, they called me out for being a travel bro and said I was running from the community, and, you know, it's honorable to be a stepfather and stuff like that. Hey, more power to you, brother. All I'm doing is I'm trying to push brothers in a different direction because I feel like it's a better lifestyle. It's a better option for them. I feel like black men have been through enough in America, economically, socially. We've been through enough, and I think it's time for us to kind of expand our options, network, rebuild each other, heal each other from some of the things that we went through in our past. You know, this is just my opinion. I think it's easier for brothers to network overseas as well. A lot of the hiccups that we have in the States with being competitive for women and, you know, how we don't really rock with each other for the most part in the States. You know, it's kind of like a mug and we kind of keep it moving. Here, the thing that heals you a lot of the time is the fact that language and culture bonds you. Because you got to understand, when you're overseas, you are not from wherever you're not from there, right? I don't care if you're in Africa. I don't care how much they say, my brother this, my brother that. You're not from there. You're not local. You know, even if you are familiar with the culture, and I see a lot of guys with the Back to Africa movement, more power to you, brothers. But you got to understand, you're not from Zimbabwe. You're not from, they're going to call you a gringo at the end of the day. You American. Whether you like to admit to it or not, you're American. All right? And for the most part, you know, when you run into another American, you know, you're going to automatically bond because you kind of know to a certain degree it's you guys against everybody else. All right? Shout out to my brother King Dome. Shout out to you, brother. He says, when Aaron the Godfather speaks, I listen. I wouldn't call myself a Godfather, man. I'm just trying to get some information and put brothers on game. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link one more again for you guys to come on up to the panel. And you can discuss your opinions, whether you pro being a stepfather or not. You know, on the part one, I was telling the guys about, you know, a little party that we had went to. Me and my boy Josh about to come on in a minute. About running to some African-American chicks at this little after-hour spot. Shout out to my bro Rob's VIP. If you guys ever in Medellin, the two locations that BMT be hanging out at was going to be Vibes Nightclub, Rooftop Lounge, and Rob's VIP. All right? Those are the little staple spots, black-owned spots out here in Parker Years, man. Pull up on us, and, you know, we can get the flowing. We can kick it, have a good time. If you have any business endeavors you want to talk about, man, send me an email. If you're interested in moving to Medellin or anywhere in Colombia overseas, maybe we can make an appointment. I can do a private consultation at the office. Or if you got some business ideas you want to discuss. I know a lot of guys are like, hey, man, what's going on out here in Colombia? You know, what type of business can I start? You can make an appointment. You can meet me at the office, and we can chop it up. Let me go ahead and bring these guys onto the panel. Shout out to my brother Randall. How you doing, brother Randall?
Hey, what's going on, Aaron, man?
What's going on? How you doing, brother?
Shit, I'm just relaxing, man. Hey, this is a hot topic right here.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely, man. Most definitely. Y'all know music. You there, brother?
Yeah, I'm here. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you good, man. You got a good mic today.
Yeah.
And my other brother, what is that symbol, man? Is that a Sigma symbol? What is that?
King Sigma is my name, bro. That's
got you.
King Sigma. Yeah.
Got you. King Sigma.
So you got it right. The crown and the Sigma.
Man, you had some solid points yesterday. You came on here preaching, brother.
Hey, appreciate that. I'm glad to be back, man. I'm really happy that you did this part 2. Mm-hmm. But I kind of want to just start off and continue where we left off yesterday and say that you should never trust an economist that doesn't bring data to the discussion and subject. Mm-hmm. So I don't know a whole lot about Boyce Walkers, but listening to you said he's an economist, right?
Right.
So economics is all about objective data based on finances, transfer of wealth, and things of that nature, correct?
Correct.
So when you're talking about the family structure, the basic economic unit, wouldn't a good place to start a conversation like that is talking about how personal finances work, family finances, what happens when a single childless man, because we're talking about childless men now, men that have decided not to have children and are waiting to find a compatible mate to have children with. Now, it's one thing for a man that has children and is getting with a woman with children. Those are two different categories. But when the man with children and with failed marriages says to the childless man, do as I say, that's problematic. And if that person is identifying himself as an economist, I want to see the data and I want to see the numbers. So that's kind of where I want to start off with. And I would also say that when you're talking about the traveling man, you're talking about someone who understands that traveling comes with lots of benefits, right? So we're talking economics again. So economics is all about benefits and costs. Everything has a price. So with traveling, some of the things that I've heard lots of brothers in the space talk about is that it's been confirmed by science that it lowers your stress levels, lowers the risk of mental illness, increases the male sex drive and libido, and makes you smarter, and also contributes to longer life. Those are the top 5 benefits that we know of. So that'll be my opening statement, and I'll hand it back to you.
Excellent. Brother Randall, what would you have to say to that, brother? What's your opinion on being a stepfather?
Hey, the last brother just dropped the mic on that. It's all relative. It's honestly any man that works his hardest to pull himself from poverty to middle class, upper middle class to rich. You have the right, if you're single with no kids, to find you a woman who's single with no kids. The deal of being a stepfather is pretty much been shown that it's a raw deal. There's no reward in it. There's no reward. My father and my mother, they divorced when I was really young, and I pretty much grew up without my father being in my life. I've seen what being raised by a single mother is. I've seen negatives from it, and I know as a man, there's no way in hell I'm gonna have kids with a woman that I'm not taking the time and figuring out, because it's irresponsible for me to sit back and just get with any woman that just has a kid. It doesn't make any sense.
Very good point. Now, is there anyone on the panel who is pro being, the ready-made family or stepfather? Just one quick question.
Absolutely not.
All right.
Not from my view.
Doug, no music. What you think?
I said absolutely no.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why do you think? I'll start with you, King Simba. Why do you think that brothers like Boyce Watkins and there's a few other brothers out here in this space that have mentioned this? Why do you think that they feel like by us coming and being stepfathers, marrying women with children, that's going to save the Black community?
I don't believe that they think it's going to save the Black community. I believe that they're pandering to a female audience that is primarily single mothers or soon to be single mothers. So that's part of the audience. You got to understand that people are going to do what they think is going to get them the most attention. But unfortunately for him, he got a lot more backlash from men than he expected. Because when you look at that video, I looked at the likes and dislikes. There were, I believe, like 2 times more or maybe 3 times more dislikes when I saw it. I don't know if it's still up. But the men in the Black men of America were like, hey, no, speak for yourself. And also, people want to seek the approval of their peers. So if he can get other Black men to think like he thinks and agree with him, then he'll feel more confident in his own decision. But what he doesn't understand is that we're at an age now where you have more independent Black men that understand how to use this technology than ever before, and it's growing. He wasn't expecting that kind of blowback because he comes from a generation where that was normal. But now we're in a new age now. It's 2021, and men are going to speak for themselves. We're not looking for a spokesman. I don't need BMT to be my spokesman. I don't need Boyce Watkins to be my spokesman. I speak for myself, and I come to you as a peer. And that's how I expect other Black men to come to these discussions as peers and to congregate for the betterment of the narrative and our image.
Yes, I fully agree. And I also feel like there may be a sense of insecurity when it comes on to Boyce Watkins. I feel like him bringing up being a stepfather he might be thinking to himself, did I make the right decision? And to justify that, he's like, all right, let me go on there. Let me talk about the benefits. And the result is everybody's like, no, that's not right. Personally, I would never do it. I mean, to become a stepfather, it's hard to date somebody that already had a relationship and then now they have a kid. Now what? You starting the relationship on the back foot, man. It's on the back foot right from the get-go. Why would you want to start a relationship like that? It's horrible. So that's just my point of view on things,
We all know that when a woman has a child with a man, she's emotionally tied to that man. She's gonna be forever tied to that person.
Mm-hmm.
So guess what? If you're a man coming into a relationship with a woman that has a kid with another man, you are gonna be number 3 on that ladder every single step of the way. That's just my opinion.
I definitely agree. Jai, you there, brother?
Yeah, man, I'm here. How y'all doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good, brother. What's your thoughts on this?
I think it's just a lot of money to be made pandering to women, man. I think a lot of people just, they see the money that it makes. So he probably gonna write a book. He gonna probably come out with a book, a stepdaddy book or something. Why men should be stepdaddies, and it's gonna do numbers. He pulling the Steve Harvey card probably. That's kind of what I think, But for me, it's like the whole stepdad situation. It's kind of like I can't allow myself to have to get approval from another dude. Like, say you with a woman and you want to move to another state or something. She got a kid. It's like, oh, you got to think about this other dude and how he gonna feel because you don't want to take his kid from him. I don't want to have to make my decisions based on any of my decisions in life based on another man. Like, that's how I feel.
Mm-hmm. You make a very good point, and I don't understand the shaming. That's the part that throws me off because we discussed in the previous part 1, brother. If you want to do if that's what you want to do, go right ahead. Nobody stop you from doing what you want to do. But why is it that when brothers decide to say, hey, we're not going to do that, we're going to go over here, we're going to do this? Why is it such a big problem? You think?
Because they believe we're their property. That's why.
Who said that? Who made that comment?
That's me, Randall. You know that?
Yeah. Go ahead, Randall. Go ahead.
Hey, bro, how many videos you guys got to see? How many times you have to see? You can see it in person. When you sit back and you tell women that, hey, you travel, you go to the Dominican Republic or Colombia, or you don't feel that the way women treat you here is correctly, guess what they're gonna do to you? They're gonna use sign language on you. They always will. They'll hit you with the, hey, you got to be a part of the community. You got to help the community. Hey, we need to wipe these single mothers up. No, you need to live for yourself, brothers. We carried that rock long enough. And look what's gotten us. Nothing. It's time for us to be selfish and do what we got to do for ourselves.
And following up what he just said, I mean, it just shows the matriarchal leanings of the black majority that the men aren't doing it because they think you're their property. The women think that, but the men are doing it because they're under the influence of those women. They're peacocking for those women for dollars, for attention, the possibility of sex. So that's why they're doing it.
That's a very, very good point. Shout out to my brother Jay Rags with the 20,000 COP Colombian pesos. What's going on, my brother Jay Rags? He said, I wish I had at least a person like me as a stepfather when I grew up. I learned most male-oriented things on my own. Thank goodness my granddad taught me to tie a necktie.
I mean, I kind of agree, but at the same time, as a man, I also understand why a person wouldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? It's like I see some people in the chat saying like there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with it. Like if you want to do it, that's your choice, But just don't try to convince me.
Exactly.
That's the part that I think gets a lot of black men is the part of you trying to peer pressure another adult man, on some I'm going to jump off the Brooklyn Bridge, join me in this jump type of thing. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I said he was insecure. I mean, he trying to make us feel like, no, just join me with this. Like you said, jump off the Brooklyn Bridge when I'm not with it.
But are you in the same economic situation? See, that's why I want to keep staying on that economics lane because the brother BMT mentioned that. And it's important to see it that lens because, again, Boyce Watkins is someone, he makes his money off of that female audience, one. He also has a higher income than your average black man that will be left to take care of all these women.
Yeah.
So, again, we know coming from the U.S. government itself that they say that it takes about $14,000 per year to give a U.S. child a entry level. Now, that's just entry level middle class lifestyle, as far as clothing, feeding, educating, nurturing, and things of that nature. So I don't understand why any man would want to bring a child into this world or take care of a child that you are not ready to be emotionally and financially responsible to. So I'm saying that's the floor, because anything below that, you're putting your child at risk of poverty type of socialization. You want to at least be able to put in $14K per year so that they can be competitive. But most men that probably in this space, they will probably say, no, I'm willing to put about 25K into my child every year to put them in a better situation. So you're taking on that financial responsibility depending on the relationship and the choice that woman made with the man. So that brings in a whole nother discussion. Who is the father of those children? What is his economic condition? What is his mental state?
Yeah.
We see so much data coming out every day about women's tendency to choose wrongly, especially in terms of being attracted to psychopathic men, right? So is the baby father a psychopath? Is he broke? Is he an underperformer? Is he non-productive? That brings in a whole nother discussion that I don't have to worry about as much when you're talking about a woman that doesn't have children, because I can get rid of lots of that stuff with a woman without children, even if she had a bad boyfriend. Hey, if he's in another city, restraining order, things like that. But with a child, he has a right to be there, whoever the father is, unless he's like a murderer and he's in prison. But for the most part, that man, and if he was a murderer and gets out, he still has certain rights to that child as long as that child is under 18. So it's a lot of problems that come with that.
Man, very good point. Very good point, King Sigma. Shout out to YG International with a $10 super chat. I really appreciate that, brother. I ran into you down there in Sasua. Had a good time. He said, men with no kids are always pressured by single mothers. That's very true. Very, very true. They need help. They want them resources, brothers. Shout out to Uncle Matt Goodbar with a $5 super chat. He says, either be clamped down with a hood booger you regret being with or travel globally, meeting dimes and being free. No brainer. That's a very good point. He said a hood booger. I ain't heard that in a while, brother. Shout out to S Hunter with a $10 super chat. I appreciate that, brother. He says becoming a stepfather if the kids are 18 plus seems reasonable. We're gonna talk about that. That's you know, if that's what you want to do, you know. Shout out to my boy Sid Salute in the building. He says nobody is listening to Boyce Watkins. Yeah, Boyce Watkins is getting a lot of pushback about this subject right here. Shout out to my brother Young J216. What's going on? Another brother I ran into down there in Sasua. Shout out to him. He says, don't think a lot of brothers have a problem with it just by looking at the actions of brothers here and overseas. Brothers still smashing and wifing up single moms. It's the shaming brothers are tired of. Very good point, brother. Very good point. Very good point. Once again, shout out to our brother Sid Salute in the building. He says, I've never heard anyone shame black men into being stepdads. You get destroyed for being a stepdad. Very good point. Very good point, man. So yeah, you know, I think keeping Sigma, man, you highlight so many points, man. So many points. And you talked about even the genetics, you know, raising another man's seed. You don't know what type of background or family that he had growing up. And we've all agreed that most of these women will tell you that, you know, hey, I was dating this guy for years, or it's my ex-boyfriend. You know, 9 times out of 10, it was just some random, you know, whatever. They didn't really know the guy. They didn't know the guy, family history, anything like that. So she rolled the dice. She got pregnant. And by you messing with her, you kind of roll the dice your damn self, too. It can be a very risky situation, especially when you're raising a kid. You have no idea what, you know, has been going on before you even got there. Now, back in the day, man, you know, it was different. I will admit that. I will admit that 80s, 90s, early 2000s, you know, being a stepfather could possibly work out because the women knew that they was coming to the table with some baggage, right? They knew this. But now it's like in 2021, they feel like having a child from out of wedlock is almost like a plus. Like, hey, I'm a mom, you know, I'm a mom first, accept me for what I am. It's like, okay, you're a mom first, that's cool, but you know, what type of wife can you be now? That's the question.
Yeah, and it depends on the age of the children too. So you guys just mentioned adult children versus young. We're talking about children under 18 because the men in this space, at least, specifically those that Boyce is targeting, those are going to be men that are under 40 years old. Because in America, the prime marriage age is 25 to 35 years old. So men that are over 50, it's rare for them to get married a second time or whatever. And at that point, If you're over 50, you've already done it. You maybe have your own children, so you're more compatible with that woman that you will be taking on to do stepdad duty. So I think his message, if it was targeted at men that are 50 plus, I don't think you really get any conversation on YouTube. But men that are under 50 who haven't had a chance to have children, who don't have adult children, and again, remember, in America, the average age of women having children is in their early 30s now. And you're having more and more women having children at the beyond their peak fertile years now. So that means that you have 40-year-old women with 2-year-olds running around. You see what I'm saying?
Yes,
So,
that's true.
yeah, so you got a childish man who, let's say he's a 40-year-old childish man, 35 to 40-year-old kind of range, the same age as that woman. He's childish. Now he got this obligation to deal with this child. That child has a father somewhere out there. So that means that, and he was talking about marrying these women. Now we're not talking. It's a difference between casual sex and marriage, because now you're going to intertwine your finances with this woman. So let's say she was with that 2-year-old that she has is by a non-performing male. Do you understand how often arrangements like this end up in court or all kinds of different reasons, child support reasons, trying to get payments? Now your finances, and if you're a business-minded independent man, how much interference do you want in your own personal finances from the government outside of what they already do?
I mean,
exactly. Yo, when I first saw the video yesterday, automatically I went to a story that I heard amongst a couple of my peers here, and suppose you get married to someone and they have a young child. If the young out of wedlock and it's not your kid, I know this is valid in New York. I'm not too certain about the rest of the country, but it might be still. If that child, if you get married to the woman and decide to get a divorce, if that child views you as a father figure, you are liable to paying child support to that kid, even though it's not yours. So why put yourself in that situation? I never understand why men put themselves in that situation.
Yeah. I mean,
Trust me, that law's spreading everywhere, man.
Yeah. I mean, could you imagine that, paying child support for a kid that's not even yours?
Yeah, I'm down here in Florida. I ain't trying to pay that money. No.
Hey, believe it or not, it's a lot of guys that's paying child support for kids that's not theirs. They just don't know it.
Oh yeah, paternity fraud is ridiculous right now.
Yo, so why would I? I'm 29. Why would I, at 29 years old, put myself in a situation that I'm going to be paying child support for somebody I do not know?
Because you pussy whip.
Hate me.
Because you pussy whip. That's why.
Exactly. So no, I refuse to do it. And then the kid might not even respect you because the kid gonna know, oh, that's not my real dad. What's the point? What's the point?
Yeah, man. I want to address this comment real quick, and I want to welcome my brother Citizen Lou and KB to the panel. We got my brother D Hit. He says, "Yo, I'm trying to understand. Don't get with sisters in these states with kids, but do get with the other women around the world with kids."
Name one person on the panel that said anything that's even related to that at all.
Right.
So that's one making up. There is one person on this panel that said anything about getting with women internationally that have children. Not one person.
No, I'm talking in general.
And I will say, if you are overseas doing it, I mean, shoot, it's like 80% cheaper to do it. So,
and that's another thing.
If you want to do it, you know.
On top of the woman gonna be beautiful, in shape. Might be a possibility she's submissive.
Cooking, cleaning.
They don't never bring that part. I hate the fact they never bring that part of the discussion. Female beauty. That's what we're talking about here. Heterosexual men are going to do much, much more for women that are prettier, no matter what the situation is. So if you take an ugly woman and a pretty woman with the same condition, heterosexual men are going to more likely rock with the woman that's more beautiful than the other one, even if both conditions are equal. That's just human nature. I'm sorry.
I mean, if you're gonna choose to be a stepfather, you know, why not at least get the best, you know, the best deal you can get out of it? Like, if you want to do it, you know.
Hey, I'm sorry. I'm a shallow brother, man. I love my women beautiful.
Hey,
sorry.
That's facts, though. That's a fact.
That's not shallow. That's not being shallow. That's being honest.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
I mean, women are brutally honest about, want to date rich men.
Yeah.
Why can't we be honest about beauty?
One of you guys got a lot of background noise, bro.
Not sure who that is. Oh, there it goes. Went off. Citizen Lou, you there, brother?
Yes, sir. What's up, y'all?
Hey, what's going
What's
on,
up?
brother?
What's up, Lou?
What's up, King Sigma? What's up to the panel? Hey, Aaron. This is a good topic, man. What I was saying earlier in the chat, I was just saying, let's be honest. I was just saying, there's a lot of single moms in these Latin countries, but I mean, like I said, I'm not advocating nobody marry a single mom or get married at all. But I would say this to that D Hicks dude. Yes, I'm gonna be real with you. A single mom in another country has probably been a single mom in the States, because single moms in the States have the government, welfare, the law, all types of, all types of things. But in another scenario, in these other countries, it's not like that. So it's, that's something that also has to be brought up.
And a lot of these women is in them culturally to, serve a man too.
Right.
You're not really getting that in the States.
Yeah, I feel like people in the US, a lot of guys in the group that haven't traveled, they don't understand how the culture really is ingrained in these other countries. Like, being a single mom is frowned upon greatly outside the US.
Right. If you just fucking random niggas with no, it's frowned upon.
Yeah. You looking at like a whore. Like, they gonna look at you like, oh, that's just something to be used every now and again. You're not gonna be viewed. So you'll find single moms around, but it's not too common. It's not like in the US where it's glorified. Oh, I got a baby daddy, blah 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 blah.
Well, it depends on what country. It depends on what you're talking about.
Yeah, true.
Because Latin America has a bunch.
Yeah, true. Yeah. That's all I was saying. I mean, like, but it's not glorified like how in the US, like, shoot, you got that My Baby Daddy song back in the 90s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that My Baby Daddy? You see that? Like, that you're not gonna find that in Latin America. You crazy?
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah, no. Just,
And a lot of these women be like real ashamed too, like that they kids like out of wedlock.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're not proud of the fact that they have that.
Because they know it's gonna set them. They know. You could only have this feminist mindset in a first world country, and all those other countries, they understand it's a survival of the fittest. Now I'm not looked at as a good suitor because you know what? I got a kid. What man wants to deal with me and a kid now? They know it's gonna be tough. It's a tough upbringing. They got to build themselves up now, and that's tough for a woman outside the U.S. It's real. Like, over here, we have it easy. We have it easy living in the U.S.
Have any of you brothers taken any time to look at that new census report that came out? Some of the data in there.
Nah, what does it say?
The biggest thing that came out of it that relates to what we're talking about was the marriage data. I think you guys really need to dig into that. In 2021, we have the lowest rate of marriage since 1870, bro. Do you understand what that means?
Is that Americans in all across the world?
Well, we're talking about the United States. I don't know if your brother's international, but I'm in the United States, so I'm talking about the U.S.
Wow. Is that Americans across the board or Black Americans?
That's just the general number. That's just the general number for the whole country. Now, for Black America, I mean, it's a number that we know it's always worse. So if the general data says that for all of America, the rates of marriage are the lowest it's been since 1870, that number doesn't make sense until you actually look into what they were actually saying, right? So I'm looking at this data, I'm like, damn, why would it be 1870? Because it just seemed kind of, ambiguous that it was 1870, right? And then I started looking to like, oh shit, the current American marriage rates are the lowest it's been since the deadliest war in America, the Civil War. It took, do you understand, in the Civil War, 750,000 prime age American men were killed and another 500,000 were injured in some way or maimed in a way that they may not even be able to get married. Again, I'm looking at this data, right? 1870, I'm like, okay, well, what was the average lifespan in 1870? 40 years old, bro. Can you guys believe that? Wow. The average lifespan of an American in 1870 was 40. and the average age of one of those Civil War soldiers would have been 25, and the average age of marriage at that time would have been the age of 26. So that war took out nearly 750,000. Someone got
Hey,
a
you
lot
bugging
of
out, brother. Yeah, somebody bugging out.
Whoa. Whoever just came in, mute yourself, please. Whoa. Golly. So
hey, y'all get y'all panel etiquette up, bro. Hey, this dude to the right of me, bro.
let me mute up because I'm gonna let whoever someone gotta get their stuff together.
It's the dude to the right of me.
Yeah, the guy with the bandana thing. Yeah.
Okay. I got it.
All right, yeah. So
Go ahead, brother.
when you're looking at the climate of the sexual marketplace in America, you got to keep things in context. So if we know that those soldiers were men and they were about age 25 when they were all murdered, they murdered 3% of the population in the Civil War. So it took that kind of condition for them to have a marriage rate comparable to what we have in 2021. Now we're in peacetime. We've really been in a peacetime America really for 40 years, because the little wars that we have mostly been fought on foreign soil, done with technology. But the Civil War was fought here, and it took out 3% of the U.S. population, and these were prime age males. So that's why the marriage rate dipped to that level, and it took nearly 70 years for the American birth rate to recover. Now, that really makes you ask questions. Wow, we're in peacetime. The country is pretty wealthy still. It's decreasing and declining, but it's still pretty wealthy. But it's peacetime, and people are saying, no, I don't want to get married. And I think that's directly connected to all of this, and the trend of brothers saying, hey, I'm going to go look elsewhere for a compatible mate, because for all these numerous factors that are going on in America, it's more and more difficult to find a compatible female mate.
It's the war on simping. That's all it is. It's the war on simping. It's more information. Like, we got access to more information now. We can, you got the internet, and a lot of dudes are just waking up saying, like, kind of like, what's the point? Like, or they figuring out like channels like this, like, oh, I can go somewhere else. Like, I don't got to just stay local. I can go international, It's just so much information out there now that we're getting that we didn't have access to before.
Yeah. It's necessary. It's definitely necessary. I mean, this wake up call, eventually women gonna realize, like, oh crap, there's no more men.
Are starting to wake up to it.
Yeah.
Some more. You're starting to see there's a trickle of women going and joining certain type of YouTube channels. Like, I listen to Uncle Dennis Sperling. I listen to him. There's a lot of women trickling over there. Because they see the warning signs.
But I mean, are they being triggered by this information, or are they trying to adapt and change to get a man, or they just want to just sit there and just throw salt?
Some are trolling, but some are there because they want to learn. What's going on right now is some of the smarter women in our community are starting to wake up and realize they know what MGTOW is. They know what SISBM is. They're starting to see the warning signs. You're starting to see it. If you're here in the United States, you actually go out for dinner, you're starting to see it. You're starting to see more and more black men with women of non-black race.
Man, I'm telling you, brother, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I remember being in Atlanta one time. I was with my ex-girl. She's Colombian, Puerto Rican. And it was another brother that walked in, and he had like a Latino girl. And another brother walked in with a white girl. And the waitresses were all black girls, black women, right? So we all sitting there like, man, we're gonna get our food, we're gonna get our drink. So I was like, they didn't even want to serve us. It was the scene from Jungle Fever. I don't know if a lot of you brothers have seen Jungle Fever with Queen Latifah's part when she kind of came up, throwing them the food on the table. So it's interesting to see that, you got to ask yourself, okay, do y'all want us or not? Because it seems like y'all get upset when we with another race of woman, but when we single, we try to court you and date you. They go playing you for the dinners. Playing games with you, messing with your time, canceling on you, all types of little games you got to play. When sometimes, and don't get me wrong, women of other races, they play their little games too, but it's such a simpler situation 9 times out of 10. Well, at least it used to be.
It's the way they were trained. It's the way our women in our community have been trained. They've been trained to not respect us. They just haven't. That's just, it's facts. You can look at throughout history, you can see it. They've been trained and conditioned to not respect their men.
Yeah, my theory on that is that, since we were like all brought here forcibly, instead of like how immigrants come and come to America to build a new life, and we were all forced here together. I think when black men and black women are together, it's like reliving the plantation. That's why we hate each other so much. That's just my theory.
Well, I mean, you know, sticking with that whole Boyce Watkins argument, I'm going to paraphrase. You brothers can correct me, but he basically said something to the extent of, if you're not willing to be a stepfather, that you're against the black community. Was that not what he said?
That's pretty much yeah. That's the constant stuff. Yeah, that's pretty much what he said.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
You know what I thought of when he said that, when I heard this? Because I heard it from another guy's channel, right? And I was thinking to myself, I was like, what he just said is not only ludicrous, but obviously he's someone that won't speak on the Memphis deadbeat case from back, what, 2 years ago? You guys remember the Memphis deadbeat case?
Yeah, the dude who had like 30 kids.
Yeah. Now, you know, that's why I don't listen to these guys and take them serious, because they will tell you, make an argument, right? But as soon as you start bringing counter data and asking questions, they won't respond to it. So with that Memphis deadbeat case that broke mainstream a couple years ago, I think like 2018, 2019, you had 3 black men living in Memphis who had 47 American black female concubines and 81 known children to the family courts of Memphis, okay? So by his argument, everyone on this panel, if you say, I'm not taking on that responsibility of being one of these women, because that represents 2 kids for every woman, something like that. Mm-hmm. You had 3 men, brothers, with over 81 known kids to the child courts, never paid more than like, one of the examples that they used, one of the guys, he had never paid more than $5 in total child support, even though he had 30 kids by himself, right? These women are still out there. So the kid is it happens at one time, right? You have a kid, you got to live the rest of your life. So these 47 women with this collection of over 81 kids by these 3 dudes, based on his argument, you brothers on the panel got to take that woman. Don't matter if she was with a dude that ain't never paid child support or a dude that got 30 kids. You can, if you're a part of the black community, you need to take on that responsibility. So by that standard, I'm out. But I don't go by that standard, because that's one standard. But why does that become the ruling standard in black America, that you have to accept that kind of lifestyle? No, we can create our own culture. Black America has always had subcultures within subcultures. And what has happened, that way of thinking benefits groups that want to see black as a collective fail. And that's why they use guys like that to promote dumbass messages like that. You're going to tell these guys, if you don't take on those 47 single mothers with those 81 plus kids, now remember, guys, this isn't like this was spread out between Memphis and Nashville or something else. These kids were all made in the 16 block radius. That's why the news jumped on it, because it was unreal. 3 dudes in 116 block zip code area with 47 single baby mothers. And that was back in 2019. There was another report that said that after the fame, these dudes got like kind of a reality show fame. They added even more baby mothers and babies since 2018. Make that make sense.
Yeah, man. I think it's I think for so long, like us as black men, we've been kind of like conditioned to feel like we didn't have much options, like media and like just how we've been portrayed. And I think now, like, we starting to realize, like, wait a minute, like, I really don't got to deal with none of this, you know?
Right. Mm-hmm. I like the way you put it. Like, I ain't really got to deal with this.
Yeah. We starting to find out that we have superpowers outside the U.S. That's what it is.
Got the most.
King Sigma, do you have a YouTube channel, bro?
And another thing.
Yeah, you can just look at just King Sigma. That's my channel, man.
Okay, go ahead, Lou.
Oh no, I was gonna say, and Boyce Watkins has been wrong about so much. He was wrong about Tesla. He was wrong about all these different stock tips he keep trying to indulge. Man, I can't stand Boyce. And then he tried to put it black finance on everything to make you buy his courses.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, you know
what kind of black financier doesn't talk about the data when having this subject? So the brothers keep saying he's a financier, he's an economist or whatnot, but in this conversation that he brought so much attention to, he doesn't bring up any data, finance, economics wise, or comparison to other brothers in his situation. Again, he's a guy that's probably speaking from a top 15% economic situation to men that we know in America that the average black male salary is about 41K gross, right? Mm-hmm. So this is why you got to be careful who you're listening to. because they're talking from a different position. If the average black man is making somewhere around $42,000 gross, that means he's bringing on probably in most states, what, 35K net? Are you serious?
And another thing too, you made a good point. He also had 2 kids prior, so he's also like speaking from that perspective too.
Who, boys?
Yeah, he had 2 kids before this one, so it's like, you know what I mean, he's giving advice to dudes who never had children. Like, if you had kids already, maybe I could see that, you know what I mean? But like, how you gonna tell dudes who don't have kids that they should do it? You know, that's messed up.
Yeah, very, very much so. I'll play devil's advocate to the panel real quick. I got a comment that says we need a couple of Captain Saver girls on the panel to balance things out. So I'm gonna ask you, I'm starting with you, Citizen Luke. You know, and I'm taking the words right out of this guy's mouth, this PUA coach by the name of ARC, Alan Roger Curry. I know some of you have already heard of him. His statement was that black men are pretty much weak, and there's nothing wrong with black women. It's just the fact that so many black men have not been raised by fathers, and you know, we just not strong enough to date these type of women unless you get some of his courses or his book. What would you say to that, Citizen Lou?
Yeah, I don't need to be. What do you mean strong enough to like? I hate that you got to be strong to handle a black woman. You're not supposed to handle your woman. You know what I mean? That's not. That's only in Negro society we think of stuff like that. I hate that mindset. I ain't studying that. We already talked about ARC. ARC is talking from a light-skinned dude perspective, dealing with black women. So we really can't even take his advice on nothing. You know what I'm saying?
You handle cattle. You don't handle women. That's number one.
Right.
Your woman is supposed to be submissive and soft and delicate. She is supposed to make your life better. She's supposed to be comforting to you after a long day of work and the racism you have to deal with in the matrix. Your woman shouldn't be hard and argumentative. If that's a definition of a woman to that guy, then power to him. But that ain't with me.
But let me ask you this, brother. Do you think it's some type of game that you can employ on these women to make them more submissive?
Game is just another word for organ grinding monkey. That's all it is to me.
There ain't no game you can apply to billions of dollars and generations of socialization, bro. We're talking about 26 generations. When you talk about the black majority, you're talking about a mentality that's going back 26 generations. Okay? You're talking about a marketing campaign by Hollywood and Madison Avenue has been in place since the beginning of film and things like that and before. That is programmed. This is programming over generations. So I've had many conversations with Alan Roger Curry on different panels. And again, you have to understand that Alan Roger Curry comes from an upper class background. Never forget that. So when he's talking about it, he's talking about being a guy that was raised in a 2-parent home with upper middle class parents. His father was I believe, an eye doctor. If I might be wrong, maybe he was a pharmacist or something like that.
Yeah, he was.
Either an eye doctor or a pharmacist, he told me before. And his mother, I believe, was like a school administrator or something like that. So you have to understand that Alan Rogers Curry is speaking as a guy that's like 60 years old or something, or over. And he's also speaking from the standpoint of someone that was brought up in a traditional household with a strong patriarchal figure and a strong matriarchal figure. So he's speaking to an audience, though. And that's why I say you gotta vet who you're listening to, because his perspective comes from that. Growing up in the 2-parent, you're talking about men who have been raised by women for the most part. So to say, you can't say that a group that's raised by strong women are weak, because women are the nurturers. So they must be weak too. If they produce and socialize weak boys that become men, then it's because they were weak. So that's a contradiction in itself. But again, ARC has told me that his father was a doctor and his mother, if I remember, was some kind of administrator. So he comes from an upper class background. So he's speaking as a minority from a minority class, whereas we're talking about the other 80% in the black majority. So keep that in mind.
I mean, the first thing you said was that he said was it is nothing wrong with black women. Like, come on, bro. Are you serious?
Now I'm with you on that.
Are you serious? There's nothing wrong with them at all. Like, come on, man.
It's culturally, and when it boils down to it, a woman's nature is a woman's nature. If she likes you, she'll do whatever the hell she possibly can for you. If she doesn't, she doesn't. But our culture is not set up in a way that all these other cultures are set up. where there's a respect for men, where the women are naturally submissive. That's not our culture. That just isn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Exactly.
like look there.
Shout out, let
Oh,
me catch
like
a super chat real
yeah,
quick.
go ahead.
Shout out to Corey Washington with $10 super chat. He says, I live in Memphis, and these women here will choose single motherhood over following or being with a decent man. Now they are older and less desired and are miserable. The Memphis-minded woman sucks.
See, remember how I said they glorified baby mama?
Mm-hmm.
See that? Right there, man.
I mean, look at it. They got influencers now that are like just famous just for being a dude baby mama. Like,
Oh, that's very true. Yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah, Amber Rose.
Yeah.
it's a lot of them.
Yeah.
I mean,
Instagram joints.
I mean, let's be real. All these women go want somebody that make over 100K, right?
Mhm.
But why would somebody that makes over 100K want somebody with baggage? She useless. You go find somebody that's single with no baggage, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, too bad they set themselves up for failure. That's your problem.
Hold up. I got a little comment here by Marty W. He says, Negro don't disparage light-skinned men. You dark-skinned brothers simp for red bone females all day, any day.
Yes, I see that. Y'all hear all the light-skinned dudes laughing? Y'all hear that?
Hey, no, I'm not light skinned.
I'm talking shit.
Nah, man, I'm dark, y'all.
Right, hey, Marty, you funny,
I love a
man.
light
Darkest
skin. I
midnight
love a
over here,
light
brother.
skin.
Darkest
I love a light
midnight.
skin. I love a light
Man,
skin.
Marty, though.
Now, Marty, Marty, you know I do love me some red bones.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
Look at y'all. Come on, brothers. Hold the fort now. Hold the fort.
Nah, he got me. He called me out.
Hey,
He called me out.
you see, yeah, I never was on that whole light skin, dark skin thing, man. Whatever. We all brothers, right?
Oh, yeah. It's all good.
It was really just a joke. Yeah, because the thing was, I mess with ARC because we like to say he a pretty light skinned dude. So he's like, yeah, you ain't had no problem with black women, dude. It was just a joke. It was like inside.
Even if you talk to ARC, he'll usually qualify things by my experience. He always says that. Like he always
Right,
say,
exactly.
in my experience, so that's
he talking this. In my experience,
yeah, that's how he talks. So you got to keep that in mind. But I was thinking about some after yesterday's conversation, BMT. I was thinking like, what is the health measurement of a society that would openly promote its most fertile women being with the least productive men, and its least fertile women being with its most productive men? That's an ass backward society if you think about it, because you want to match. You want a society that promotes the most fertile women, which is age 16 to 28 for your women, and for men, you want them to be with the men because men look for younger women who have the greatest trajectory for their earnings. So that's going to be the men that's 25 to 35. Because again, that number keeps getting closer and closer to the prime ceiling for marriage, and that's why the marriage rate is going to keep dropping lower, because every year that you add on from the age of 25 to a man that he goes without being married and childless, the likelihood of him ever getting married and childless continues on a steady decline, and then it drops drastically after age 40. Okay? So as a society, that's why your literature, the arts, the schools, the churches and things, they're supposed to be promoting the women that men want to marry in that range, so that men will take them up as wives during 25 to 35. But we're doing the exact opposite. We have a guy who claims that he's an economist with no data telling the young men take on these single mothers. That's insane. The society has no future if that becomes a standard. The healthy society will put the performing young men that start at age 25 to 35 on that are going to be in that trajectory to their highest earnings around 49, 50, and you're going to put them with the women that are the most fertile between ages of 16 to 28. That's what healthy societies do.
That's a good
No, that's facts. And another thing too, it's more information with that Boyce Watkins. They were in college together, and then she was getting smashed and ran through by the basketball team while he was helping her study.
Yeah, he sounds like that type.
I gotta give y'all some more information on this. It's not like just a regular they met, you know what I'm saying? It's just no, this dude been on her for like 30 years.
Damn. But he
You get what I'm saying?
So,
Why you gotta?
No, I gotta do it, man. I gotta drop that pertinent information.
All right, sis and Luke. Last time we spoke, I finally saw a picture of the wife, and I'm disappointed in boy. All right. This time, all right. So, what was he doing in the meantime? Was he doing anything for himself, or
writing books, doing courses?
I mean, that's
he had
good,
a couple kids. He had a couple kids too, but he was still on. He was stuck on her heavy.
Man, I'm just disappointed because my thing is like, you got that much money, you could get anybody you want. Why her?
Exactly. Like King Sigma said, bro, he whipped, dog. Like for 30 years. He never even smelled it before that. That's what's so wild to me.
I think it's sick though the way that people use the term black community. I think we got some sick individuals that come to these social media spaces. Just think how sick it is to justify your personal decision and individual choice that when you get any kind of blowback to it, well, you're against the black community because you don't agree with my own personal 1 out of 40 million people decision. Do you understand how sick and sociopathic there are people that are on this social media that what they'll do for a dollar? I'm a capitalist to the heart, but there's something called integrity. You can make money and maintain your integrity at the same time by just speaking to the truth. You got a guy who says he's an economist. No facts, no data, no financial information, but he's going to gaslight childish single men into choosing his lifestyle and using all the social problems, the vulnerabilities, and the issues that black people deal with. And we're going to just wave that flag whenever someone disagrees with your lifestyle choices. How sick is this society becoming, man?
Yeah, it's because they're using emotions, man. It's like they don't have the data statistics to back it up because they know if they started bringing that out, it would make them look stupid. Yeah. So they have to go with the emotional argument, you know?
And who plays on emotions?
Exactly.
Yeah, but he's secure, man. He's secure. You're right. He's pussy whipped.
And I believe Boyce Watkins had a stepdad too, so you got to put that. It's a lot of variables in what he's saying. A lot of things you got to take into context.
Man, I have a stepfather that passed away last winter, and I love that man. But that he would tell you he was very aware and had a pulse on what was going on in Black America and how bad it was and tragic, in terms of like the dynamic between the average Black man and average Black woman. He would never encourage me to be a stepfather in this climate that we're in now. And
exactly, good point.
I mean, stop.
Yeah. And my granddad was a step. Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. It's this climate we're in now. This is just horrible for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to say about that
path, because again, remember, up until recently, ARC was all about knocking many women. I used to like listening to this old man talk about all the women he had sex with. Basically, he was on some Wilt Chamberlain shit up until just a year ago. And you didn't see him. Did he choose a woman that was non-fertile? No. Did he choose a woman in her sexual prime before she hit the wall? Yes. So you got to keep that stuff in mind when you listen to people online, bro. I've listened to ARC many times, okay? And the brother was talked about all the hundreds of women that he's been with up until just at the age of 60 he got married. So keep that in mind. Brothers have a right during your prime lives to experience life. Live your life on your own. That's one of the few benefits that still remains in this declining society that we're in, that men get your money right, get your mind right, get your health right. Shout out to the brother Nagone who came up with that term. Get your mind right, get your body right, and get your money right. And then explore the world, because there's so many benefits to travel that I mentioned in my opening. Many benefits. Stress is the #1 killer of Black men in the United States and other men too, but specifically Black men. Stress is the foundation and the symptom that creates many, many other conditions. Anything you can do as a Black man here in the West to lower your stress levels, that's the way you should go.
Yeah,
I agree.
I definitely agree.
Yeah, man. You got options, man. Like that's what it comes down to. Like you You got options. You don't have to do one thing. You know, like you said, if you get everything right that you need to get right, it's like you can have fun all between that. And then, you know, once you get everything right, you can decide what you want to do, what route you want to go as far as marriage or whatever you want to do.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm happy that I'm seeing a lot more black men travel because I felt like I was the only person doing it for a while. I mean, that's how I was raised. I'm an immigrant. I've been traveling since I was young. Been to Mexico and all this stuff, Belize when I was teen years, and then now to see more people open their eyes and doing this, man, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, and it's a nice shift. But you know, I always come home and have a little. I'll give you an example. Last night I was at the bar, and this woman, she was like, "Oh yeah, this girl is beautiful now, man. She's coke bottle body and all this stuff." And I just looked at it. I was like, "Yo." So I just went to Brazil. And it just shut her down, you know. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful moment. Make her realize, like, yes, I've seen the light. I've seen the light. There's other things out there, you know. There's a better life.
And the women automatically know this too, bro.
Oh yeah. They're like, oh crap, we can't compete. I'm like, yeah, you can't compete.
They can't at all.
Yeah. What do I want? A big booty and a headache? No.
But you get a big booty and a breakfast cooked for you, your clothes, drawers washed. I mean, you can't beat that.
Your happiness, black man, is your responsibility. You got to do what's best for you. Plain and simple. If you want to travel the world, go to Brazil or Dominican Republic or Colombia or Thailand. Hey, if you got the funds, do what you got to do. It's on you. Be selfish. Be for you because everybody else is for themselves.
Exactly. You only talk to them for 5 minutes out the day. Don't let 5 minutes determine your whole life, right?
And you know what? What we got with crypto? Oh my bad, brother. What you saying?
Hey, keep getting stamps. That's it. Keep on getting stamps. Keep on flying. And the crypto. Hey, bro, I just started my crypto, man. It's all good.
Hey, that's what's up, bro. Hey, that's what I'm saying. We got crypto. We got people working from home. We got all this, all this new stuff coming in, bro. You don't have to be stuck in America. And to that dude who was saying he was the first black PhD in economics, he been wrong all 2021 about everything. Every financial prediction this dude done made has been off. So I mean, that's another thing. These cats like this, they want you to stay on the plantation.
Who elected all these different people to be the spokesman for Black America? As if it's just funny to me.
YouTube.
YouTube is like a political party that they don't own, that's owned by white folks and a feminist at that. But they come to this platform. Black people are weird. Like, just like in Chicago or any urban city where gangs run the streets, but then they don't own any property, right? It's kind of that thing where this is my block, right? But you don't own anything on the block. All you do is destroy the property values and end up in jail and pay slumlords with government taxpayer dollars. That's what you bring. You don't own nothing, though. And that's how guys use YouTube and social media, I've noticed, that they make themselves self-appointed spokesmen for the other 40 million Black Americans. And then they get angry when you actually question what they're saying. Like, do I get a vote on this? Do I have a right to give my opinion on this? Who made you the president of the 40 million Native Black Americans in the United States? It's unreal. These guys just appoint themselves. I'm speaking for Black America. No one, and then it's like they're often wrong, like Citizen Lou said. More often than not, they're wrong and they have bad information.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Very true. Shout out to James Best with the $4.99 super chat. He says, call a guy like that King Salmon Captain Save a Girl. Okay, I got you, brother. Appreciate that $5 super chat. But no, man, you made some very good points. In the information age, I think a lot of us have learned about female nature to the core of a woman. And maybe he missed a memo. I'm not sure if he's connected to what's going on out here in these streets. It's just funny that like these Black influencers never call out all the stuff that's going on the other side. It seems like they all blame Black men for everything. You abandon your communities, you're traveling over the world, you're not wedding these mothers, you're turning women into single mothers, is what I've been hearing. Like, how do you turn somebody into a single mother?
Well, who is the you, though? That's the part they never answered. They know the data. Everyone knows that they're talking about less than 20% of black men that fit in that category. Even the more larger content creators that call themselves pro-black, quote unquote, even they admit that. So these guys that are coming in and don't even know that stat, why would you even listen to someone like that? We know as a fact that less than 20% of black men are responsible for almost all of those deadbeat children. I just gave an example. The Memphis deadbeats. 47 women, 81 plus known children in one damn zip code, bro.
Hey, King, so let me ask you a question. I got a little, because I was on a Ramil's panel one time. We had this discussion, and they told me we were talking about. You remember that? Oh, you were there, Aaron? Yeah, we were talking about the single mothers in Latin America, but they were telling me is that the CDC said that black men are the most involved fathers out of anybody.
That's true,
right? So that's what I'm saying. I'm look. I
but they're
understand
not
that
talking about
when we
that
say
20%
that,
though. But they're talking. But you got to remember, you got to look at the situation though. You're talking about 20% that are responsible for that big number, but then you also have 30% of black men that are married though. That refers to those 30% of black men, because that study talked about how black men spend more time with their children than any other group in America. You see what I'm saying?
So you're saying like that less than 20% might have like 4 kids, but that good percent only has 1. Right?
Bro,
okay, I'm with you.
Memphis. This is just recently. 3 men with 81 plus children by 40. Are we just going to ignore this?
No, you're right. And I'm from Memphis, and that area that they're in, those kids are all going to grow up with each other. So that's more that could be inbred.
Yeah, there's inbreeding. Bro, we're talking about inbreeding at this point, man.
Yeah, that's messed up. Yeah, you're right.
You don't even know if this is your sister that you're banging if you're living in that zip code, man.
Yo, that's happened plenty of times, man.
I can actually
these black communities. That's happened plenty of times.
I can
your second, third cousin don't even know it.
I can push that argument even further. A lot of these kids probably will be going to separate schools and not knowing that they're brothers and sisters. And what's going to happen is you're going to have a society of people that's going to be committing suicide when they find out they just had sex with their with their brother and sister. That's what's going to happen next.
But Boyce Watkins won't talk about that though.
Because Boyce Watkins gets his audience from a bunch of women that he knows that are just defeated. So he has to do what he has to do to stay afloat, although a lot of people are not really listening to him.
But who would you rather? Okay, someone comes here and says, I'm an economist, right?
No, I believe that he is, but the fact of the matter is that ship has sailed a long time ago. He got kicked out of Syracuse. So all he has left is doing all this pandering.
But he what kind of economist doesn't bring data though?
Oh, but like I said, you have to understand thank you. He's not here to bring any data. All he's worried about is getting views and going to other people's site like Kevin Samuels and Kwame and roasting him. That's how he's getting his audience, because he knows deep down inside he's wrong.
Yeah. And the wise words of Kwame Brown, he is part of the go on, get along game.
That's right. That has been destroying the black community for centuries.
So I'm gonna listen to someone that said, if you come to me, anyone on the panel say I'm an economist, and we're having this discussion. I mean specifically this discussion. That's why I like social sciences that really are about their business, because they bring you data, charts, theories. They give you a visual. So I'm not an economist, but I'm giving you guys a visual right now of an example of what we're talking about when I use that Memphis deadbeat situation. Because if you're gonna give an economic breakdown, you would show a chart that says, look, okay, there's these 3 black men. They're at poverty level wages. Here's these 47 women on the second level of the chart, right? You're going to show 47 women. Then you're going to show 81 kids. You're going to show a price tag. Shit, let me run that number real quick. Based on what we were talking about earlier, 14,000 by 81 children. That comes out to a yearly cost of $1,134,000. I'm not an economist, and I just gave you that. So for those 3 men and those women that they chose to raise those children, someone is on the hook to give them a competing chance in the most competitive American environment, where Asian Americans doubled their population from 3% to damn near 8% in 20 years. You're gonna tell me, where is this 1.1 million gonna come from? Who's gonna pay for it? You are on the panel. You're already stepfathers. So Boyce Watkins is gaslighting all of us. Citizen Lewis from Memphis. He's already a stepfather to those children because he pays taxes to raise those children, because those men are incapable of generating 1.1 million per year over the term of 17 years for each one of those children. Stop it, man. We're already stepfathers out here by default.
I agree, because you have to think about it. The child support system, they don't give a damn about these children. It's about extrapolating the money from the men and giving it to the women because they know the women will spend that money. That's why you have a child support system that's $51 billion a year.
51 billion?
Yes.
Oh yeah. I wouldn't. They honestly need to like limit. I think men shouldn't pay no more than $24,000 a year for child support.
But you have to understand it's not about the children. It's about the courts getting their money. That's what this is all about.
Yeah.
Yeah, they gonna get that cut. They get like 15% off everything. I'll go ahead, bro.
Yeah.
No, that's a good point though. Let me get a super chat real quick by our brother Carbon Snail 01. He says RT News Boom. Best segment with Christy AI. I think has the best daily info regarding Bitcoin and other cryptos. Appreciate that $5 super chat, my brother. I got another super chat here from my brother S. Hunter with the $5 super chat. He says there's multiple forms of birth control for women, only condoms for men. Women have to be more responsible. That's a good point.
Exactly. Is it all right if I hop in and speak real fast, or was another?
Go ahead, brother. No, go ahead, JoJo. What you doing right here, JoJo? What's up, man?
I've been gravitating towards this side lately. Ever since I've been seeing how beyond repair the community is. I want to give like a small background. My girl herself, she mixed like half black and half white or whatever. But I've been listening to Brother Citizen Lou since I first heard him on Ramil panel. But it's just after so long, I have come to accept the fact that our community is going to eventually capsize, especially the way it's going now. And it's a lot of reasons why, but a lot of people are afraid to, I guess, bring that up. And these are the reasons why the community itself is going to be forced to change. And you're starting to see a shift now, like even with you guys' community and stuff. When I heard the stories you guys tell about how you travel and see this and you go places like that and you have people that actually treat you like you're a human being, that it's great. It's great to hear. But right now we got a couple of issues in our community. The first being this: the whole way that the dating, if you want to call it that, is set up. The girls get knocked up by the hood dudes, the thugs. We already know that. Then bitch about it and complain, and then blame dudes like us who actually work something, trying to do something with ourselves. And on top of that, you have with the girls, it's a 50% herpes rate. 50%. That means 1 out of every 2. And I'm 100% sure that me and none of you brothers up here want to catch an STD, especially one that's incurable. Like, whenever they bring this stuff up about, black men need to step up, do this, do that, they always fail to lead those stats out. They fail to, you know what I mean? They fail to just say stuff like that. And you see dudes like Kevin Samuels and he try to, you know what I mean, I guess keep the community together or whatever. But when you watch that show, it just makes you cringe. You see adult grown women don't care about themselves, don't take care of their health. Just disrespect men's authority. It's just sad. And when you witness it you just see even from the 18 all the way to damn 30, 40, or 50, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. And that's when you come to the realization the black community is over with. It's over with. And I listen to this one guy, the Roger Report, and shout out to him. But I just listen to this dude sometimes and I just think to myself, this dude talks about it every day, tries to come with solutions every day for how the black community can get better. It just won't. It won't. And I thought to myself, I'm like, the brother doing a good thing, but he wasting his time trying to constantly fix something that's beyond repair. It's just the women don't want to get themselves right. Like, and I told Citizen Ludus a while ago. This was an incident. This happened maybe a year ago. I went to a bank, right? And standing in the line, my turn to go. There was a white guy in front of me. The black lady, polite as hell. Oh, have a good day, sir. This, that. My turn to go up. Didn't speak, didn't acknowledge me, none of that. So I'm like, I'm just standing around. So it was a Hispanic lady next to her. She told me, come to my booth with her. So I went over to her, spoke to her, ended up getting her number and stuff. But I'm thinking, like, why is it that somebody of a different culture is treating me with respect and dignity, but somebody from my own is, you know what I mean? You won't even speak.
Yep.
It's baffling to me. And it's just like, at this point, it's like it's nothing as a black man that you could do. And something else I noticed too, and I don't want to talk too long because I know the brothers want to talk.
Nah,
but
you
it's
just
just like,
my boy.
No, go ahead, keep talking.
it's like even when men talk about stuff that they doing, like when you have productive brothers talking about stuff that they're doing, oh, we're not just talking about you, we're talking about all black men. It's always this move the goalpost thing to basically not adhere to your authority. Or when you hear stuff like, oh, you need to submit to a man. I'll only submit if the dude is worth submitting to and stuff like that. But you open your legs to dudes who not worth a damn anyway. It's just, I say the girls self-sabotage themselves. But this is the thing. The reason you seeing so many do all this extra stuff they doing now is because they starting to realize a lot of the men who actually good, decent, educated men, they don't give a damn no more, and they actually go in places where they treat it like actual people.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad to see the state of the community and stuff, but I mean, it has to be done. Unfortunately, it has to be done. And just like
like I say, bro, we got about 65 to 70 years left before we start walking around with endangered species tags on our ears or something like that. But the good news is we don't need to create a new race. You only need like 5,000 black men, so it's not even like a crazy, number. We don't need like half of black men to be on board with this movement.
Like what the Germans did in Argentina.
With the Nazis.
With
the Nazis.
Yeah. But it wasn't just the Nazis doing that. The Jews did it too. I mean,
that's true.
The Italians.
The Italians, yeah. It's funny, man, because I know it's bad, and I want to go back to what the brother was saying beforehand about his experience in the bank with that young lady, the sister. It's really bad when the same thing happens overseas. When you run into African American women and you kind of happy, just you naturally like, because guys say I'm too friendly. They be like, bro, you too friendly. Like, why do you even say something to them? I'd be like, bro, because they from you know what I'm saying? They from America. So I'm like, yo, how y'all doing? Where y'all from? And sometimes I just get I've been ignored out here. I've been just get the nastiest looks. Like, why are you talking to me? I'm like, damn. I'm thinking we in another country.
Yeah.
How you doing? How long you been out here? Do you like it out here? What city you from? Hey, don't go here, don't go there. But to them, it's just like, I ain't messing with you. You black, get out my face.
Aaron, you should know better than that.
Yeah, you can
tell. Bro, this just recently happened to me a couple of nights ago. When me and my boy Ja was at like a little night party, and the chick, she sat there. I'm sitting here talking to her, a little chick. The black chick comes. And she points at me with a thumb, with like a growl, like, who this dude think he is? Why he talking to us? I'm like, okay. Same chick goes and smash a dude in the bathroom.
Damn.
You just be like,
what?
Yo. And her homegirl's like, would I be cop blocking if I knock on the door? Because I'm ready to go. And I'm just sitting here like, women be the worst friends with each other. And I'm like, yo,
it's a lot.
The cat she's smashing is damn near homeless, but
that's horrible.
Hey, bro, it's a lot of black
chicks
coming there.
Yeah.
On top of this, the dude never even came out the room. Like, he just stayed in the room. Like, he was embarrassed. A poor dude was like embarrassed that he had smashed the chick.
Well, Aaron, I can take it even further than what you did. I just got back with the BMO brothers from Brazil a week ago.
Oh, shout out to BMO, Black Man's Office.
Thank you, sir. And actually, there was some black women at a club called Doce Vita. It was 4 of them in the VIP crew. Not one person went to talk to them.
Of course.
However, let me expand it even further. Me and the brothers went to Sugarloaf Mountain, right? We saw a black American woman with 2 dudes. She was the loudest one on top of the mountain. Even the Brazilian people looked at us like, is she with y'all? We were like, no. And I have a video recording of this. It was horrible.
You know what? I got a story, bro. When I was in Mexico, I walked up to these black, ADOS women trying to be nice. That's why this was like 3 years ago. I learned my lesson. I asked them where they from. They told me something, I don't know. I was like, what? Just look at it. They had this simp nigga with him. Negro with him. And he was just looking like he was about to fight me for talking to them. So I just walked off. And then I was over there with the Latin chick, the Mexican chicks dancing. And if looks could kill, I'd have been dead. They was hating then. So that's why I'm done. I said, Aaron, I don't talk to them when I'm overseas.
See, y'all like some Southern gentlemen. You could tell when you're talking to Southern brothers because
more of them, brothers, start to keep expect to see more of them, man.
Yeah, I mean, if you want any video proof of this, if you guys don't believe us, Go to God rest his soul. Charles Tyler made a video of him having a confrontation with a Black American. It's on the page right now. Trust me, man. They are just evil. I don't know what it is.
I know a lot of Black women that have told me recently that they're going down. I was shocked when this group of Black women I know said to me recently, I'm going to Colombia, because they don't know that I talk to brothers like you guys in the traveling community. And I kept that to myself, but I'm talking to them, right? And she's like, man, I was supposed to go down to Colombia, but they locked it down. And these are, middle-class Black chicks, good-looking women, in their late 20s. And I was shook, because I was like, I had never heard Black women before this last year mention Colombia. And she was like,
trying to ruin the party.
You know why, guys? You know why? What I just said a while ago. They feel like we're their property, and they don't want us to leave. They're going to expect to see it more. You already seen it. A group of them went to Sasua like, what, a month ago?
Yeah.
Oh, my mind. Blew my mind, bro.
Yeah, what you have is piranhas that's about to eat up the native fish. That's what's gonna happen.
Man, I ain't telling nobody. That's what
first of all, who you gonna compare to piranhas? The Black woman?
Absolutely, the Black American woman.
Man, my thing is this: they're gonna go down there and get hit right upside the head. They're gonna get some reality check, right? Because they're like, oh, I can't act the way I act like in the U.S. No, they're not gonna put up with that.
And ain't nobody checking for them.
Oh yeah.
I think that Black women are going down to Colombia.
I want to say two things real quick. The first thing being, you're gonna see a lot of them being humble June the 30th if the government don't do anything about this moratorium, and a lot of them gonna be homeless. And on top of that,
I agree with that.
You think so?
Yeah.
It's too many women's shelters.
True.
I mean, I'm pro stepfather all the way. I've been listening to y'all guys for an hour.
Great,
too.
perfect. Let's go, brother.
Yeah, man. Pro stepfather all day. Y'all dudes going down to Colombia and DR, man. I highly disagree with that.
Why?
Let's get it.
Yeah. We're gonna have go ahead, bro. Are you troll?
This party started, baby. Let's go.
Hey,
go ahead. Go ahead. Let's get it smoke. Come on, man.
Okay, so I got a question for you.
What's up, man? What's up?
Do you think it's fair that a young man like myself, now I've been on my guild since we've been 16 years old or whatever. I'm 22 now, but for most young brothers, that's my age, or like let's say 19 or 20. Do you think it's fair that a man that young should get with a woman who has a ready-made family instead of going to get with a woman who doesn't have one and they can make one together? Do you think that's fair to that man?
I mean, I'll put it to you like this. I mean, my question to you is like, who hurt you?
What do you mean?
Sorry, buddy.
Right on time.
Let him talk. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
No. Hey, I'm just messing with y'all guys, man.
Oh man, you trolling like serious.
You met me at the Irish bar. You remember me? Come on, man.
Oh yeah. What's up, bro? What's going on with you, brother?
No, man. I'm the furthest from that shit. Oh, my bad. I'm the furthest from a cent, man. Yeah, but man, I just have to put my 2 cents in, man.
Hey, man, that was great, bro. That was great.
This guy had a 1 hour build up. He trolled us for 1 hour.
Shit, got me going.
You know what? But when he said who hurt you, I was like, oh man, he trolling.
You the goat.
No, but look, I'm in the military 19 years. I travel to a lot of places besides Africa, but I want to go there and stuff. But it's just like I've been around the world, so I'm like lockstep on what y'all guys' view and stuff like that. But every once in a while, you got to like kind of lighten the mood a little bit,
No, you're right, bro. That was funny.
So I
knew Sis and Lou's about to go in though. He was jumping Jump across.
I had my mic. I had this mic. I was holding.
But hey, King Simba about to hit you with all types of numbers and politics and stuff.
Bombard his ass with them.
Because with those plantation bros, that's exactly how they sound too. Like they'll say some shit like,
"Oh, big time, man, big time, bro."
And they're not going anywhere either.
Yeah, they're trying to make you feel bad because they're not happy with their lives. I'm like, well, if you're not happy, change something.
man, most of those
I got a
dudes, it's
question.
all a scheme though. But understand this: there's been a lot of those pro-blacks that have been exposed. It's like I know Citizen Lou and his team have exposed like a lot of these fraudulent hookup coaches. Ultimately, a lot of those dudes that do the most talking and the most peacocking, they're actually trying to get enough money to do what you guys are doing.
I totally agree.
I've seen guys that travel on a regular basis who they're not really as impressed with quote unquote exotic looking women because they've seen so many. So they hit that ceiling of diminishing returns on that. It's the guys that have had the least exposure to women outside of their own little community that they live in. They'll be the first ones to jump ship when they get a chance. So I'll always look at it from that standpoint because there's been a couple of those guys that have big channels that have been exposed for being like notorious for chasing after like white chicks or international women. So what they do, they're pointing a finger at you all day because they're either projecting or they're showing what Freud used to talk about. You know how Freud talked about the subconscious all the time? And then often when someone shows you that kind of hate, there's actually love and admiration that's on the exact opposite side of what they're doing. They're projecting. They're actually telling you, I want to do what you're doing. I want to live the life that you're living. But because I can't, I'm going to shame you.
And they be talking tough too. They be talking real tough.
Yeah, they be saying
if they were so tough and they really cared about all this black majority stuff they talk about, why are there so many white vigilantes and non-black vigilantes doing so much damage in those same communities walking scot-free? So until I see them actually go after the people that are directly harming their communities, stealing from them, profiting from them, assaulting them, bro, these guys are the ultimate online gangsters.
And you know, King Sigma, I heard you say on a panel one time, like, it's crazy how they're mad that we're leaving. It's like, dude, there's more women for you. Why are you mad at us?
Exactly. And I want this is my theory, and you brothers correct me if I'm wrong. Now you know how it's this whole thing about hypergamy, level up for the girls and stuff like that. I will make the argument that black women are hypogamous. Now that means they get with the worst possible man that they could find and procreate with. That's my theory about them. That's what I think.
Man, ultimately it comes down to value. Again, you guys have been around this space long enough, just like me, that you come to realize it's all about what you prize as the highest value. When you talk about these matriarchal drones, they prize access to pussy above money, security, knowledge, anything. That's the ultimate prize to them. So when they see you and they know they're going to a marketplace, a sexual marketplace with women that are just average in their country, but would be supermodels and IG influencer types if they lived in America, that's where the envy comes from. Because again, you may value it only as like a third level kind of concern, but for them, that is the number one thing that they value in their life. So they see you getting access to that. That's going to be problematic for them. And they're going to do anything they can to try to diminish what you're doing or to stop you from doing because it brings out too much envy in them.
I agree with that.
It's so disgusting
I've
to me.
lost friends because I travel. I've literally lost friends.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, me too, bro.
I have a question. How many women? I mean, what's the percentile that you think are like these aggressive black women that just want to get dick down? Like, what? How many? What's the percentile of the corrupted black women? Because honestly, I haven't dated in the U.S. in 11 years, so I don't know.
That'll be hard to predict a percentage. You know, there's a lot, but that'll be hard to predict a number, though.
Because I know, honestly, there are some good apples.
But I'm real selective. I'm real selective with the women I date.
Yeah, so I mean, I see it. Obviously, I see it, but like, I haven't really had to deal with it too much because I just don't date them anymore. I don't date.
The number is 91. The number is 91%.
You think it's 91%?
I definitely agree with Citizen Lee.
I'm going off going off the political data we have, that they all seem to, unify under that, that ideology. So I would say 91%.
Wow.
That's pretty large.
Well, you can tell that Citizen Lou and BMT are Southern guys. I was saying because out here, it's being in the Upper Midwest. I think it's probably similar to what you guys experienced in Columbia, where it's just like two different societies. Like the black men up here and the average black woman, they're living in two different societies. Like you guys were saying that you felt a need to speak to these American women who gave you an attitude or whatever.
Yep.
I can tell y'all from the South, that's that Southern gentleman thing out here. Yep. It's almost like there is no contact unless you're dating that woman. Y'all pretty much just keep it moving. Ain't none of this. Oh, that's a sister girl from around the way. That shit is dead up here. Brothers are moving that way.
Well, you got to think too. You know, the South has the highest concentration of black people too. Because you're from Minnesota, right, King?
Yeah.
So that's you're right. It's like you got to have that aspect too. We see black people all the time, so it's like you just it's embedded in you.
That's true,
man. I had the worst dating experience in Minnesota, man. I used to live in Minneapolis. I had the worst dating experience, man.
Oh, what happened to you, man? What happened?
Nah, it's just what happened is at the time I didn't know what I know now, but it was just like I would go on like these dating sites, and it was just like, and it's like I would get stood up, turned down, forget about approaching, and then like the black women there, it's like, oh my god, man. So, but then one day the light clicked on, and like, and ever since then I saw the light. But in Minnesota, it's like I had the worst dating experience. I'm being broad when I say that.
Now, are you speaking specific to the black Minnesota women or all women?
Women in general, bro. Women in general.
Now, what do you mean by? Okay, so you said the app because that's not really an experience. Like that's not did a real date come of it and something happened better? Or you just talking about you didn't get chosen on the app because that ain't the real world, man.
No,
I mean, how would you describe it? Because I mean, it's like, I talk to them and stuff like that, and you can tell after like being on the app, after a while, you can kind of tell what their expectations are, and it's everything that y'all been saying for the last almost 2 hours.
No, I think you're putting too much emphasis on the app because the apps themselves come up with like a lot of data that they put out here, and they say that if you're not a top 20% man in some way, either look, status, or money or whatever that they know about, you're gonna get put at the bottom or not chosen. This is a fact coming from OkCupid and Tinder, where they've done major studies and put it out there that the average guy, if you're an average looking dude, you're gonna have way more luck in real life, or even I'll tell you where I've knocked a lot of chicks at Instagram, because Instagram shows a bigger picture of who you are. The thing about Tinder and OkCupid, the chick is just looking at your face and your body, period. Unless you're some kind of celebrity, those apps are about looks. So
right.
I don't
but
know
you agree that y'all shouldn't take American women seriously, though, right?
You said what?
You will agree that you shouldn't take American women seriously, right?
I mean, I don't even get that deep into to that level. I would just say this.
No, I mean, I think we agree. I think we just veer off. It's just everything y'all saying. It's like it was my experience, and it's just like.
But I'm just saying to the example of today, though, bro, because you said you had this bad experience. But I'm just saying that I don't know if I can call that experience a dating app not getting chosen. The experience happened on a date. Like if you told me you went on a date and the chick tried to leave you with the bill and no pussy or something like that, then that's an experience. People.
Well, I had that too, but I didn't explain that. But again. We're on lockstep, but I'm just saying though, it's just I just had the worst dating experience.
That wasn't a dating. I'm saying
I'm with King Sigma on that because
you didn't have a date. How can you have a dating experience? You didn't have a date.
Yeah, you just got swiped left on, bro.
I had dates, man, but I'm just saying though, it's just like it was just the same result.
May I interject just a second? Did you travel to Minnesota to date any of these women, or have you been?
No, I used to live there for 11 years.
Oh, okay. So you do have some experience with dealing with Minnesota women.
Wait. Now.
Wait, expand on that.
Now you lived in Minnesota for 11 years, and you're saying that this was the same experience you had over 11 years?
I mean, for the most part, I would say that.
Now, could you tell us about that? Because that is a shock. Because like I got brothers that have come up here. Like I got family from Mississippi. And I got family from Milwaukee and Chicago. They're up here in Minnesota on weekend, and these dudes is wiped up. I got a cousin. He's so pussy whipped. He came up here from Mississippi. No. I got a cousin. I'm gonna tell you a story straight up. I got a first cousin from Mississippi, and down there it's a whole different lifestyle in the Delta and all that. Like it's rare to see, for the mixing like it is up here. He was up here like one weekend, and this dude, he tells me like a couple months later, he married the white chick he met at the club up here.
Damn. I mean, look, what I would say
I'd have
is
me a
right?
12-pack of Becky's up there.
Well, I would say this, in my experience, I'm not the type of guy to approach women because, again, I haven't had too many good experiences approaching women, which is why I don't believe in PUA, because it's just like you get this bad vibe and stuff like that. So it's just like, in all the way for me to meet women, it was through dating apps.
Okay, that's a different. Yeah, so you said
that's
Hey, no guts, no glory, bro.
That's more of a
No. Don't tell me that, because
I'm not saying people.
that was a totally different experience. I was approaching domestic, right?
I would speak more on the social issue more so than what the brother said about the. Here's my thought on what happened to you. I know that one of the things about Minnesota, because Minnesota is a smaller state, social cliques matter up here. So like a lot of way you get laid up here at least is knowing certain people, because they're very cliquish in a city like this. They're very cliquish. It's not a tourist city. See, so when you go to a place like New York, like you could just go to New York City. When I went, you could just be walking out street and get laid. You meet so many women just walking places, going places. But in a place like this, it's more of a cliquish. You got to get invited to events or go to events and get to know women because they hang in groups. And you got to remember, since it's not a tourist city, a lot of the women you meet in Minnesota, like they've been living here all their life. We have less traffic that comes in from out of state than places like a DC, New York, Miami. They got people coming in all day long, so it's not as cliquish. So for you, more than likely, the reason that you had that experience is because you weren't in a clique. Because 11 years and had that kind of struggle, I've never met any black man in Minnesota that's told me something like that. This is the first time, bro.
Hey, can you hear me?
You gotta look at
Minnesota may not be a state.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah. Who is
it? Oh, okay. No. I hear. Yeah. No, what you said is true. It's like I wasn't in the clique, but at the same time, though, I didn't put myself out there, but at the same time, in order for me to meet women was through social dating apps. And then one day I saw the light, and long story short, I went to Colombia, started approaching women, and it was just a totally different experience.
But I'll tell you.
Maybe I don't want to offend you or anything, but maybe your game wasn't meant.
No,
I'm a New Yorker. I don't know how Minnesota works, man.
Hey, hold on.
I'm from New Yorker. I'm a New Yorker, man. I don't know how Minnesota
man.
Go, man. Just give me a benefit of the doubt. I don't know how Minnesota is, bro.
No, you good, man. You good. I mean, it's good to disagree. It's just like, look, if y'all saying I had it all wrong, I will come to Minnesota, and I spend a lot of time in New York, and y'all can show me what I did wrong.
No, the brother just said something. No, he said he went to Colombia. And see, that's again, it's not about the game all the time. He just told you. He said, I went to Colombia and I got chose up on. Why does it have to be that he doesn't have game or not? Sometimes your personality doesn't match the personality, the dominant personality types in a jurisdiction that you're in.
Exactly.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant. I apologize. That's what I meant.
That's
what I meant. Because I'm like, you know, like you can't. You know how girls like you gotta be negative, and then you could get the girl up here, right?
Negative.
Some sort of angle. You gotta come at some sort of angle. If you can't be like rude when you go down to like South America. You gotta be cordial. You gotta be polite. You know.
Yeah.
But here's the difference, y'all. Like my first experience traveling overseas was Germany back in the early 2000s, and I said, man. In Germany, I decided one day I'm just gonna have the audacity to say whatever the fuck I want to these women.
No cursing, brother.
Oh, my bad. The audacity to say whatever the heck I wanted to these women, and I was like, man, this stuff works. These German women eat this up. The Moroccans, the Ethiopians, Eritreans, man, they loved it in Germany. That I was just, I didn't care what I said, and you know what? Let me bring that back to the U.S. Man, I brought it back to the U.S. and it worked like a charm because my confidence level was through the roof. And everywhere I've traveled to from this point on, I just had the same confidence. I learned Spanish and I do the same thing in Spanish. When I go down, I'm not nice when I talk to, Spanish women. Why? I'm the same person I am here.
Let's emphasize.
That's why SBM. Shout out to Trey, man. How you doing,
man? You know how important it is to know the language when you go to those countries, man. I'm telling you, open up another life down there, man.
Hey, somebody got an echo, man. Y'all, come on, man. Y'all get this panel etiquette going, man. Y'all be tripping.
Another thing that's important
not me.
To speak to what he was saying earlier, that you guys got to consider. you know, different cities have different personality types running around there. So if you're someone that's more extroverted in an introverted city, your experience may be different than if you're an introvert in an introvert city. So you got to keep that in mind too. And that's why certain brothers, that's why you have to encourage them to do the traveling thing, because it exposes them to different cultures. And by going and getting that experience in Colombia, that builds your confidence when you engage women when you go back home, because now you've had that positive experience. That's where confidence comes from. Repetition of positive experiences and negative experiences. If you continue to have that negative experience, it keeps setting you back until you get that one confidence. So you might have talked to 10 women.
That's true.
You got rejected. You're going to be in a drought, man. You're going to feel bad. But the one time you have a good experience, now you have that positive vibe and you can kind of build from there. So
that's very true. No, I'm saying that's true. Go ahead, man.
You also got to look at it like this too, as because I'm me and Smurgo, we Generation Z. It's a certain type of not only charisma, but a certain type of attire you need to have too. Like I'm from St. Louis, so I'm what I would refer to as like a hood dude or whatever. I wear the snapback hats and the Timberland boots and all that kind of stuff. But the thing is this: with some girls, they will disqualify you just because you don't come at a certain angle. Like there's been time I've been at the mall with my girl and stuff, and you'll see a dude, you refer to him as corny, and he'll try to walk up and talk to a girl, but he's not smooth with it. I don't think a man should be looked at as less than because he dresses intelligent with a collar shirt and some khaki pants. But you got some girls who disqualify a man for that. But it's just
Bro,
if you don't
most
have
of
a
the
certain
world.
type of look, if you don't have a certain type of look to you, some dudes are not gonna make it just off of that.
Bro, negative, bro. Regardless of what culture you're in, man. When I switched over to real estate investing and I wear dress jeans, my blazer, and a button down, whether it's tucked in or tucked out, and whatever, cowboy boots, man, any race, any female, pulling them. No doubt.
But
They all look
watch
at you like
you
they
work
all
out
look
too,
at you
don't
like money.
you work out too, don't you?
I mean, I was in some kind of shape, but it's the thing, bro.
That's what I mean.
They see money, man. They see resources.
Well, I want to say this. Speaking
it's not
from
really
a
what you're saying, man.
Speaking from a person that is the anesthesia doctor, actually, I've had problems in different cities myself. I mean, sometimes it works for me in Houston. I go to New Jersey, it don't work for me there. It's just the way it is.
Basically what all this means is you won't work in every market. You just have to find the market that works for you. It's the same as anything else in life.
Exactly.
And that brother found Colombia, and I think that should be encouraged. You know what I'm saying? That should be encouraged.
I don't subscribe to this notion that just because you lame in one city, you'll be lame somewhere else. Because that cat that thinks he's cool in one city can go to another city and be lame in that city. It's just the market.
Mm-hmm.
You get in the market that you fit in at. It doesn't really you're not gonna be liked by everybody. That's just life.
The biggest thing is just to be yourself. Don't try to be something that you're not. Don't try to memorize game or lines like that, especially overseas, man. Just be yourself. Learn the language, learn the culture. And you'll be perfectly okay. These women need men. They love men. So you'll be good, man. And you're right. I don't subscribe to that either. Like I've heard this all the time. Oh, if you cornball in the States, you're going to be a cornball overseas. That's not true. Because what's your definition of a cornball? A brother that got his stuff together?
Excellent point,
but
Aaron.
The dudes saying that have never even been out. You got a lot of those dudes that make that comment. If you ask them, where have you been? The most they'll tell you is like, they might have went from Chicago to Atlanta, but most of these guys have never even been out of their own city.
Or they probably drove to Tijuana.
That's fact.
How are you guys listening to dudes that have never been out of their own city and they're 50 years old, 60 years old, and dudes have never been anywhere, but they have the most to critique and the best advice to give you about what an experience is? Again, experiences are the best teachers. We read things to stop from making certain errors. We want to, or understanding other people's lives, but living is how you get the real knowledge and wisdom. Experiencing, seeing things with your own eyes, touching and experiencing it. So that brother right there, he went to Colombia. He said, in Minnesota, I wasn't getting selected. And I told you, the women up here, they're very cliquish because, again, we don't have a big tourist economy up here. So women have grown up with each other for years and years. So it's kind of like dick referral is big up here. So like you get with one girl, come to find out she know like 7 other girls. She done told them everything. So either you got a thumbs up or you got a thumbs down. And
I'm talking about white girls here, or what?
No, I'm talking about all women up
Well,
here.
if you want to be technically honest, I'm originally from Oklahoma City, around the Midwest area. That's just how it works with this whole clique thing. Some girl knows another girl, but if you go into bigger cities where it's a bigger cultural shock, you'll get a different outtake. I mean, outcome.
No,
Excuse me.
bro, it works the same everywhere because women can't shut up. Man, I'm not trying to be crass right now,
I know
but
you're
if you
not.
give it to a woman right sexually, and you got resource, you pride, and you a good guy, they can't help but run their mouths, and their
True.
friends are gonna be like, "What? Huh?" And you could do the female thing and just monkey branch from friend to friend to friend to friend.
It's the same thing out here in Colombia. I was dating this girl a few months back, and she was telling me that she was dating this brother, and she took him to like a picnic or a barbecue, a family outing, and he ended up sleeping with a couple of girls, that she introduced him to. She was like, some of the rest guys are just dogs.
That's how you end up walking into a threesome.
On top of, she taught him Spanish, so. I taught him Spanish, and I brought him around my family. He ended up sleeping with my cousin and a friend of mine. And I was just like, my brother.
I'm not allowed. Hey, that's why I'm not allowed to go around. I can't go around Mrs. MBD's family solo. I just can't. She won't let me.
Well, the thing about it, see, when I went out to New York, the difference I noticed between the New York and Midwest was that because it's the financial capital of America, people are in and out of New York like all day long. Like you might meet a woman, you might just go out somewhere, right? And she'll be like, I'm only in town for a week. My job brought me out here for a week. Whereas here, these people work and live here. They went to high school here is what I'm saying is different. Like you meet women that are like 25, 30 years old. They travel outside of the city, but they live here and they still have the same clique of their friends. You go to New York, they mostly have a stranger mentality. So they're used to just strangers coming in and out. It's just too easy in a place like New York.
Yeah.
I'm saying, especially Miami's like that too.
Oh God, Miami, the plastic city right there. Whew.
Yeah, you can mess with you can get a lot of chicks in Miami.
Yeah, quick.
Yeah, and if you want to work on your confidence and approach, I say Vegas. Hey Lou, am I right, bro?
Yeah, you're right about that. Vegas is the culture in Vegas is real, it's real cool. It's a real transplant type of culture in Vegas, so everybody's like real dope with each other.
And you meet people all over the world that go to Vegas.
Yeah, and I'm not saying
go to Vegas too.
Yeah, I'm not saying work on your game. I'm just saying work on your confidence and just going talking and just being yourself and just getting out there.
And brothers, try to get like a sales job too. That'll help you.
Well, that's all game is at the end of the day, is just talking to women. It's not really complicated.
I'm from Los Angeles. I take that trip to Las Vegas every weekend, a 30-minute flight. I'm always in the middle of the strip.
When is the best time to go to Vegas? Like, because I always want to use the best time.
May.
Summertime.
Do guys really find talking to women complicated? Is it like this complex thing that you just can't figure out?
No, it's not that. A lot of it's fear-based.
Like my uncle Jordan, I be telling you about sometimes, Smirko. He is greener than the pasture when it comes to stuff like that, bro. He don't.
Cause it's real simple, man. Like when I see a woman I like, I just go up and say hey to her. She's either gonna say hey back or walk the fuck away. Like
exactly.
No, Smirko, you need to buy a $3,000 course on womanese to talk to them.
Well, you need to do that when you can't handle rejection. So that's like a masking for your innocence. You're gonna be rejected. Everybody gets rejected. But I mean, all you need is like 2 or 3 women to say yeah, and then you got a rotation going. Like
how you deal with rejection is everything. I think that's what it boils down to. Like how a man deals with rejection. I don't care where you're on earth. That's gonna determine a whole lot when it comes to women. Because some people they can do good once they get past the rejection stage because they might have a great personality. They just can't deal with that woman.
Hell, you're gonna go overseas and get rejected.
Oh yeah,
you can't escape that.
Yeah, you can.
So don't use.
Shout out to Grant Cardone. Once you get to a certain point, you don't even have to worry about rejection. They're gonna start coming to you just because of the.
Well, yeah, that's the best way to do it, I guess. Like if just have them approach you because that's like yes off the rip.
Yeah. Well, you have to look at rejection like gambling. You're gonna lose more than you win.
But you do open up your opportunities a lot more if you pursue in that sense as well.
Yeah, that's true. Cause I was really.
Yeah.
Also, about the travel. That's why when we talk about the travel thing, we got to talk about the health part because that comes with it. See again, you might be a person like the brother said. That's why what he said was so important to me because he said he was having trouble in one area, but he just jumped on a plane and went somewhere. Boom, an entirely different experience, man.
I encourage everyone to build themselves up, though. I mean, like financially, go after your goals, man. The woman will follow. You need to focus on yourself, build yourself up, get to where you need to be. The woman will come. They will always come, man.
Yeah, and for the most part, we have our image is not like tainted like that in these other countries. You know what I mean? Like,
oh my God, tell me about it.
No, man. I swear to God, black people in the U.S. have superpowers outside the U.S., man.
Black American men.
Black men.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Does the panel mind if I ask my question real quick? It's gonna take it into a bit of a different direction, but it's sort of related. Unless y'all just keep talking about women. Okay, so like a common detraction from this space is that it's just too much focus on the women. Like you go overseas just for the women, and brothers aren't building anything either overseas. I personally, I don't have a problem. If you want to go overseas for women, that's fine. But I feel like that's just from what I see from BMT's channel, a lot of other brothers' channels, it's a blatant lie. Brothers are building and making great moves overseas, building businesses. So to the guys, and these are men saying this, by the way. These are other men, the matriarchal drone saying that, well, you guys are going overseas dealing with these women instead of staying here and fixing the community. But even when you go overseas, you claim to be in a better position, but you're not building there either.
What are they building?
And let me jump on that.
So just basically,
let me
just I'm not saying. Yeah.
The people that are saying that again? We were talking about the numbers before you got on the panel. Numbers based was what the conversation was about. We look at the situation in the black majority. Do you understand that the Washington Post, liberal outlets are bringing out information saying that the black majority has not moved at all an inch economically, financially in 60 years. So the question becomes, only 6% of black men before COVID had a passport.
Exactly.
12% of black women had a passport, right?
What these guys are saying is that since you guys,
what are the other 94%? Again, take those 6% of black men and those 12% of black women out of the discussion. What are those other 94% of black men have? What have they built since 1965?
Well, here's the exact words. This guy says you're not building a safe haven overseas for black people.
No, you can't move on to that question. Answer the question. What has that 94% built since the 60s?
Well, this isn't what this isn't.
No, I got you. I get his question. Let me answer your question.
This isn't my point. I'm trying to get the point together so you guys can kind of extrapolate on it. Because I'm trying to
No, Trey, let him bro.
Because this is a very specific. This is a very specific detraction that I think this space needs to really crush. Because a lot of black men look at this and see these passport bros are cowards. They're running away from responsibility, and when they're going overseas, they're being irresponsible as well. Well, that's not true. I see a lot of great things that the traveling brother doing, buying real estate, getting work visas, building businesses, networking.
Bro, let me answer your question, bro.
And this is something that's buried underneath a lot of the women talk. And I understand why the women are talking about this. It is a big motivating factor for a lot of brothers to travel because the dating scene in the States is so, it's a cluster mess. It's a mess. But at the same time, this is something that should be important to talk about as well, because if you want to talk about building a life overseas, that is a very important conversation to have. How are you going to build a business? But the main detraction, what this main argument is that a lot of brothers that travel don't build anything. They're not making a pipeline. You claim to be in a better position, but you're not making a pipeline for the community to travel to and be in a better position too.
So
basically, so the 94% of non-building brothers want to building 6% of traveling brothers to make a pipeline for black community salvation. That's
not the purpose, though.
That's the new detraction I wanted to just bring to BMT's.
Okay, bro. Let's answer your question here. Now, why should a brother, regardless of what that brother's doing, why should a brother who has 6-7 figure business, in the States building, who goes overseas, enjoy his time, care what the rest of everybody is doing? Why should a brother who has learned a language, got a passport, and traveled somewhere like my man Lou or BMT worry about what the 94% is doing? They're living their lives.
He
So
shouldn't care.
it is, in the end, it is dick policing of a man's opportunity,
Yes.
not just his, vagina sense, but it's opportunity. And if that man goes over there and he wants to do whatever the heck he wants to do, because working a business, bro, is hard in the US. Working a job in the hard is in the US. So when he gets that free time, let that man go over there and do what the heck he wants to do. If he wants to go over there and build a separate family, oh well, that's his business. If he's got the resources to support it, cool. If he wants to go over there and trick off, cool. Then he comes back to the US and does his thing. It is nobody else's business what that brother is doing.
I completely
Good point, brother. Good point. Reach.
Yeah, BMT. I wanted to bring this to because you do bring a lot of attention to the brothers that build, and that's very important. That's what really attracts me to these spaces more than anything. The opportunity. You gotta understand, there's a lot more opportunity for brothers overseas, and this is something that, if anything, it's not gonna be the women. The women isn't gonna I know you're not doing this for you want to show off or make these guys feel like you're better than them or anything like that. But what they really have to understand is that there's more to life than women as well.
Well, you're missing
because from their eyes, they see you're doing it for women.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. I know it doesn't matter.
Well, here's another thing. You said the build thing. See, again, this is a general term that you're using. You can go. Do you realize that there's people that are now working remotely? They get their money all over the world just off the internet. They might live in LA today. They might live in Colombia tomorrow. They might
can work remotely.
So you talking about this build, bro? Most people are now just opening a computer, doing some kind of digital income strategy, making money online. They're getting their checks into their PayPal. That's how they're living. They're enjoying their life with a laptop, and they're living all kind of places. You talking about this build? Why do you think that the individual black man owes the other 39 or million or so black people anything? Bro, it's up to the individual to wake up with a goal every day, to figure out how they're going to survive in this global society. Why is everyone always looking to someone like a BMT, someone like a Trey, someone like a Citizen Luke to solve the damn problems of your life? You are a grown man. You have
Exactly. It's usually these unproductive, unsuccessful brothers that's looking at guys like BMT to fix a situation that they more than likely contributed to ruining in the first place.
Stop putting the responsibility on these men. That's a victim mentality. Why is BMT responsible for grown ass men? This is why I don't like about
BMT, all these dudes, daddy.
BMT, why you got so many kids, man? Why you got so many?
BMT is taking his own free time and showing brothers how to do it, just putting it out there. He don't have to hold their hand too. Does he got to hold their dick to pee as well?
No, it's called being accountable, people. Be accountable.
I'm gonna say this real quick, Smurf. I wanted to say this too. You know, traveling is like a pizza. It's more than just the women. It's the cost of living. It's the culture. It's the weather and things like that. But another thing too that me and BMT talked about, bro. When brothers meet each other outside of America, it's like a whole different vibe. It's not that mean mugging, like what he looking at? What you want to do? Like, it is none of that at all. It's like, what's up, man? Where you from, bro? I'm from Mississippi,
really?
I'm from New York. What up, man? And we just vibe. And bro, there's cats I've met in Mexico that I'm tight with, that I'm closer to them than people I grew up with. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
Stuff like that. I know, right? I ain't got to worry about him trying to talk to my girl. You know what I'm saying?
It's a brotherhood out here, man. Like one of my guys, you know Michael Citizen Luke. He went back to the States.
Somebody echo, man.
There we go. Yeah, one of our bros out here, he been out here with us for about 4 or 5 months, I think, and he went back to New Jersey, and it was like, the whole crew was like, "Dang, you gotta leave. You sure?" Like, it's a brotherhood out here, man.
Yeah, it's a brotherhood, man. So and then they say build, define build, like what, like Sakism said, what are y'all building in America?
Well, basically making communities for the unsuccessful people in the black community in America to go to.
And what are they going back to the?
That's the exact argument that he made. Let
me catch these super chats real quick, man. We flowing. It's a good panel. Shout out to Xavier Lancaster I got a feedback in the background from somebody. Hey, put yourself on mute. That might be you, classy young man.
Right. You even notice with a specific guy, this isn't the first time I heard something like this. Like where they'll say you're going overseas to run away from problems, and you're claiming to make a better life for yourself, but you're not helping anything back home.
Here's the thing though. Have you ever heard the saying of don't play their game? You don't get it. You don't get it. Maybe you haven't been in this space long enough. It doesn't matter what you do. Their standard, they'll always move the goalposts, brother.
Oh, yeah, I know for sure.
No, he's just playing.
Okay.
He's just playing devil's advocate. But let me finish the super chat real quick. Hold on, bro. Let me finish the super chat. Shout out to Xavier Lancaster once again for the $4.99 super chat. I really appreciate that, brother. He says, just tuned in, family. Greetings and BMT family. Shout out to my brother Citizen Lou, who's on the panel giving super chats. Shout out to you, brother. 20,000 Colombian pesos, bro. Appreciate that, man. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're going overseas to trick off or if you're going overseas to buy an entire community of real estate to literally just transport people from, the middle of Detroit and move them overseas with you. It doesn't matter. They'll see you the same way. They'll say you didn't stay in America, you didn't do that in America, so you're therefore a coward.
The panel. Since you'll take care of it for me, I'll be right back.
Do you remember how they dragged Robert Smith last year?
Oh yeah.
Robert Smith, one of the few black billionaires in the United States, donated over $34 million to the class of Morehouse, paid off all their student debts, which I believe is all men, paid off all their student debt, got them internships, and $34 million investment he made in black men. Do you understand that he was dragged in the mud by the same people that you're saying right here in the United States? So we're having a strong man conversation because why do we how do you put the cart before the horse? You're going to get anywhere.
It's because he was helping men. That's why Robert Smith was dragged.
My point is that it's not about brothers going overseas. What it's about is passing the blame, scapegoating people, and never getting anything done. Again, Robert Smith is a native black American man right here in the States. He did something for the brothers right here in the state, and he was dragged through the mud by the same people. These people don't have. Why does their voice get so much credence amongst independent thinking men? Is what I don't understand. They're going to make all kinds of arguments, but guess what? They're not going to do. They're not going to show you tangible results. Brothers going overseas are showing you tangible results of how they're benefiting from their action. That's enough for me. I don't need BMT or Citizen Lou to freaking save me from anything. Build for yourselves and set an example that other brothers can mimic or improve upon. But their life is their own, not mine.
And you know what? I'm going to say this. I just thought about. I know Aaron left, but you know what? We are building a network, whether people see it as that or not. But it is a network. Hello.
This is one thing. I would make the argument that
Jojo, your mic kind of low, bro.
Yeah.
What? How about now?
Oh yeah, you good now. You good now.
Okay. I would make the argument that a man who, especially an African American man who's built himself up and established himself and doing something good with his life and going places, the only people he's obligated to build for is his family, meaning his kids.
Exactly.
That are biologically his. And this is my thing. Like, we got to look at it like this. A lot of people, especially our people, they used to just getting stuff handed to them. Like this is my thing. And we go back to Ramil channel when he held those business panels. I seen Citizen Lou in there, I seen Smurgo in there, I seen a couple other brothers in there, and it was me in there. Whenever he did those streams, we tried to tell the other brothers, oh, this how you do this how you start an online business, this, that. Nobody wanted to pay attention for real. But whenever it's a subject about a female, everybody and their mama come out the woodworks. See, and even with me, for example, I told you brothers several times, I tried to tell my friends about e-commerce and stuff like that. That's stupid. Oh, that ain't gonna work, bro. You tripping. You they ain't gonna read. This is a scam and all this, that. I'm making money not having to clock in no work, right? And I still got some of my homeboys, bro, you needed to put me on that. But it's like, bro, when I tried to actually educate you about it, this clown stuff, I don't want to do this. For some reason in our community, intelligence and education is frowned down upon. But then when it's a brother who, with that same intelligence and education that was laughed at, oh, we need you to come to the rescue. That's very backwards to me. And it's very disturbing.
I say, Jojo, you know what's funny? What you brought up, how you started that thing, and then they see you successful. Now they want to get in on it. It's the same with this situation with traveling, but I'm afraid that it's going to be a lot worse in this scenario. Like, they're talking about, oh, y'all traveling, but I'm going to say like 10, 15 years, everybody going to be trying to leave America. That's just how I look at it.
Oh, yeah. They go shit on you, brothers. Watch. Y'all trying to create that big tent travel movement. That's going to be your downfall. Mark your words. Mark exactly what I'm saying right now on this date. Having that mentality of taking that argument with you and having it in your subconscious is gonna hurt you, because you're gonna be like a magnet for these leeches, and y'all whole thing that y'all are building that's a great thing is gonna be destroyed, because every time you try to do a big tent party mentality with something like this, with these losers and these parasites, they're gonna destroy whatever you build.
Oh no, King Sigmund. No, King Sigmund. No, we're not recruiting. We like Pablo Frescobar said, we Alabama. We don't recruit.
Well, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking to the talking points that Smirgo is using as a
okay, my bad.
I'm saying to those guys, I know that he doesn't agree. He's just bringing up the topic, but I'm just saying that that's the wrong mentality to have for anyone that's thinking about expanding their options. If you take that big tent mentality with you, that's what's going to destroy anything you try to build. Because again, anytime you show me a group of people who are talking about 6% of what 6% of people are doing, yet they represent 94% of the group, and they're not doing anything, but what they're doing is looking to find a host, like a parasite looking for a host to attach themselves to, and you give them a voice, you guys are insane, bro. You're going to lose everything listening to those people.
Exactly. Yeah, what he just described though was stepdaddy culture, and this whole way,
culture.
You know,
put that in the title.
The educated
See how it all comes
lame
back together.
Yeah, the educated lame, the brother that goes out there and gets it. Honestly, in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, man, we were expected. All right, Keisha, I know you done lived that rough life, but let me come on in here and take care of you and them kids now. That was the default. But us and the whole traveling mentality, we fucking that up. Excuse me, my bad. We messing it up for him.
And this is the real thing right here. And I don't want nobody to think I'm a COO and I love, you know what I'm saying, I'm pro-black, whatever you call it and stuff like that. But this is the thing, because I say this to everybody who try to shame brothers who actually educated and doing stuff to help themselves rather than, take money and spend it on everybody who wouldn't give them a second glance if they was in trouble. My thing is this. We always talk about, this Wakanda utopia, this black utopia where men and women and families coexist, this, that. My thing is this. People have been talking about that since slavery ended. It was some sort of that in maybe the 1970s or 60s, if you want to say that. But this is my thing. That is over with, and it's continuing to get worse. If men don't realize you have to worry about yourself, if you find a decent girl, then she can come along too. But other than that, you have to prioritize yourself. You can't prioritize a group of people when they don't prioritize themselves. This is the thing. What I have an issue with is stuff like this. In our community, and I'm going to go back to this because I go back to it all the time. In our community, you have a dude who will be fresh out of jail. He will be celebrated and get more daggone respect than the dude who just graduated college. Like, I'm gonna give you an example, and I can't remember the brother's name. I wish I could, but I go back to Kevin Samuels. He did a video about it. This was a while ago. The brother I think he said he passed the bar or something or whatever it was to become a lawyer.
You talking about?
Oh yeah, his name was Chris or something, right?
Yeah, and he basically outlined every statistic that he was not. He said, I haven't been to jail, no kid, no baby mom, all that type of stuff. And he was basically saying he beat the odds. Man, do you know these people made a laughing stock of this dude for basically saying he made it and he didn't fall to statistics.
Wait, the guy who said I'm the prize, that guy?
Exactly. They were in the comments. They were in the comments saying, he's talking down on every black man. No, this is the thing. I'm gonna tell you what they had a problem with. They didn't have a problem that he was saying he was educated, he succeeded. They had a problem that he was saying he was better than the thug dude who just fresh out of jail. Why is it in our community, these the same dudes they worship and say, you shouldn't talk down to them. We have to take care of these dudes. But they don't go to them dudes to say, say the community. They go to the educated men who have something and say, I need to come back and take care of everything.
See, that's what
it's our responsibility.
Yeah, they'll throw a big cookout for the dude that did a 15-20 year bid.
Yeah,
why do y'all say our community? Like, why is it that you say our community?
I'm with you. Yeah,
community is
my community.
Like, BMT, I don't know if you can bring it up on the screen. Could you just please show brothers what the word community? People keep using this word community, right? Y'all don't even know what the word community means. Community-minded people have similar interests, similar values, similar goals. Okay, so when you why do you guys take on the responsibility of derelict people or degenerate people? Like when you say something like our women, okay, I have my car, right? I call it, I don't say our car, I say my car, right? It's a means possession. So you say our community, our women, that means that you have ownership on said subject, right? But everything you guys say, it's like you guys will say our women, but then you'll say all the exact opposite of what possession means, or my woman, but then she's really not your woman or my community, but you have no say-so in the community, no investment in the community, no ownership. How is it your community? Have you ever considered that maybe it's not your community and you're supposed to be somewhere else with other people that are more similar to you? Is that not what a true community is, where you have an investment and a buy-in?
Yeah, if you can't get a job out of that community, it's not a community. You know, if you can't get, like you said, some payback, like you said, some return, you can't. It's not a community.
Yeah, you know,
It just plays. Go. My bad. I think I'm lagging. I'm sorry. My bad. Go ahead. I think I'm lagging. Go ahead, bro.
No,
That's
but
one thing.
you know,
My bad, brother.
You know, they changed the definition of community. I think it was like a few years ago. You know, it was something else, but now the brother just put it: a group of people living in the same place or having a particular characteristic in common. But they, like I said, they changed the definition of the community.
Yeah. So now they playing. You know, what's that? What's that book, y'all? George Orwell. They changed dictionary.
1984.
Yeah, damn. So, thank you, Trey. Yeah, 1984. Now they changing definitions and everything now.
I'll give you a perfect example of that. That folks that ain't allowed in the community is you get these, you know, I know, Lou, you call them cosplay Keishas and shit sometimes and stuff like that. But the true cosplay Keisha is into anime. Think about it, the anime brother and anime sister who goes to this, dresses up, speaks Japanese, man, they can't come within a mile of the community. But these folks, some of them will try to fight their way back in, not realizing, oh my God, guess what? That anime, those anime people, that is your community. Go over there and be happy, young brother.
Well, do you brothers get into etymology of words, or do you just go by the most common version?
Real quick, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the show. As we can go ahead and put our closing thoughts.
Okay. Well, I just want to leave you guys with this final word. Then, you know, appreciate you bringing me up. But I like looking at the etymology of words, like where words are rooted. And when we look at the word community, the word from Latin, which is taken from, is what it really means to me, where it says meaning fellowship, community of relations or feelings, a society, a division of people, like-minded, common possession or enjoyment, fellowship, union, common ownership. If you don't fit that definition to me, you're not a part of community, because that's the root word of community. Like BMT just said, they're using the Orwellian down the memory hole to create new words, but the word community comes from Latin, and that's what it means. Fellowship, common concern, affability. It basically means love. So if you are a part of something that don't love you, you are not a part of community. You are actually the opposite. You are exiled from that community. But with that, I'm out. Thanks for having me on BMT. This was a great discussion, man. Next time.
Salute, bro.
Thank you for coming on, brother.
All right. My last words: don't let someone's insecurity define how you live. That's basically what Boyce Watkins does with the black community, specifically black men, and I don't believe in that. Do what you need to do and stick to your goals, man. Just stick to your goals and you'll get whatever you want, basically, you know. So take care. Thank you for the opportunity to speak, and salute.
Salute, man.
Coming on, brother. Very good point.
I'm gonna go ahead and go. Like, you know, like I always say, man, you know, there's no country for old simps. You know what I mean? Like, I've been saying, we old Negroes do not need to be listened. I'm sorry, they haven't done anything to deserve all this. Oh, you got to respect your elders. No, man, ain't nothing Boyce Watkins has done in his life that I should just respect just cause. No, man, he been wrong about all his finance, stock picks, and crypto picks, and all this stuff, and he be doing all this shady stuff, buying people's domain names so they can't. Bro, he just a shady dude, bro. So that's all I wanted to say, man. No country for old simps, and you know, man, be free.
I'm gonna take that show title, man. No country for old simps. I like that one.
No country for old simps. All right, y'all, man. Y'all boys be easy, man. Peace
out.
I just want to say I appreciate you, Mr. BMT, for letting me on. And if you're a young brother listening, and you want to like become a successful entrepreneur, businessman, you just have to get educated. You don't have to pay $500 for a course and stuff like that. You just go on YouTube and search up some videos, and they may be the one I found was 6 hours long. But you brothers just gotta, just close your mouth, bend and grin and bear it, and then you know what I mean. Just keep educating yourself, and eventually you'll come out on the other side. And salute to you, brothers, and I appreciate you guys letting me on the panel.
Appreciate you coming on, brother.
Hey, BMT, man, thank you so much, bro, for letting me up. And, man, keep doing the Lord's work here, man, showing brothers there's other options out there. And I I woke my best friend up from childhood, man. He got a divorce after like a horrible marriage, man, and he got his passport. He wants to come check you out down there in Medellin, man. I'm gonna bring him through like later on this summer.
Man, I welcome you. Y'all come on through, man. Holla at me.
All right, no doubt, man. Appreciate it. Thank you.
SYSBN for life, brother. All right, that was a good show, man. Shout out to Charles Keys for the $5 super chat. I really appreciate that, brother. He says, "Build, start an Airbnb in the city you travel to." Very true, man. Appreciate that, brother. We got another $5 super chat from Xavier Lancaster. He says, "Thanks, brothers. Great think tank. Yes, B. Watkins is a clown." So that was a good show, man. I appreciate you guys coming on. I'm gonna go ahead and sign on out. Till next time. Peace.